Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. This is going to be another episode of Reforge Gaming News, talking about Horizon Forbidden West. Going to give you my brief sort of review, talk about the good, the bad, and the review bombs. Yes, this title is being review bombed. I want to talk about it. The reason that the thumbnail says I told you so, this game has been hotly debated prior to its release, and there's all sorts of odd and peculiar feedback and criticism from people who seemingly haven't even played the game. So right here at the beginning of the video, we try to give you a very nice quick summary of what we're going to be talking about, and then the live stream continues. We have a pretty lengthy discussion with the live audience, so make sure you're subscribed with the bell button pressed so you don't miss the live shows. This is a Reforge update. Horizon Forbidden West released to great acclaim as far as I could tell. I want to give you the good, the bad, and talk about the review bombs. There are people review bombing this game, seemingly for very, very bizarre reasons, and I want to walk through everything that I think about the game and even respond to that idea. If you like these Reforge updates, hit subscribe and the bell button so that way you do not miss these uploads. So I want to talk about the good first, because I do think this game gets a ton of things right. There are some bad things. There are some things that I think need to be refined or combed over that are, causing some issues with the game's performance, as well as some of the just frustrating moments that you might have in the game. Now, the combat, I think, is one of the first good things that they have really improved upon. It's significantly better than the first game. It is more challenging. There's more depth, there's more freedom, there's more punch, I think, in the fights, and I think there are elements to the combat that are, lacking in the first game that they've really emphasized. The trailer has decided to stop playing for me. Traversal has also vastly improved with some caveats. I do have some caveats about Traversal I'll talk about in a moment, but I do think Traversal has vastly improved from the mounting to the climbing. I really prefer climbing without the focus. I don't ping unless I'm completely lost or can't figure out where to go. The free-form climbing feels really, really good. I really like that sense of sort of the Breath of the Wild, Immortals Phoenix Rising. You can climb anything. Graphics, I think, are undeniably breathtaking. It's a very clear next-gen open-world work of art. This game is beautiful. You can see from the photo mode pictures that people take. Anybody criticizing the graphics as being not good or mediocre are being disingenuous, I think, at best. I think they're intellectually dishonest at worst. They're just lying. This game looks absolutely incredible. It's undeniable. It's objective just to look at the level of detail, graphical fidelity, and precision that they put in this game. This is not a matter of opinion. This is fact. That you just have to look at it and measure it for what it is from sort of a technical aspect. This isn't something that needs to be debated, I don't think. The story and the characters are well told. Some of the cinematics felt like action drama TV shows. Very, very well done. I thought the introduction to the main villain was very good when she finally shows up. It's a super, super dope battle. They institute some really, really cool things in that scene. Now, I think there are some things that are bad. There are some things worth taking notice of. I think some of the combat sequences can feel a little bit spammy. They can feel a little bit odd. They can feel a little strange. It's almost as if you're being sort of, fed a bunch of spammy attacks. And I think when that tends to happen, we're just gonna go main screen. When that tends to happen, when you have those sort of combat sequences that do that, it can be a little annoying. You're getting sort of stun locked. It's like every single enemy has ranged attacks in addition to they can jump really far, they smack you, they launch you. It can get a little frustrating. I don't necessarily think this leads to good combat sequences. It's challenging, but sometimes I think in the wrong ways. I do like the pressure it puts on the player. The world feels more threatening. It feels more dangerous than the first game. I'm very selective with my extremely powerful weapons because I know I might need them. I might need the resources. I think there's a good balance there, but some of the fights I think get a little spammy and a little irritating. Now, graphical pop-in is rare, okay? Graphical pop-in is rare, but it is a bummer when it happens. It's a pretty significant disappointment. And then there are cinematics and QuickTime events that also have this weird sort of flashing screen thing that happens. It's extremely immersion breaking, and I would love to see a quality of life patch to fix those when they happen. It is, I think, very disappointing for a game of this caliber, developer of this caliber, to have these things happening where you're just trying to watch a cinematic or you're just moving through the world. And I had an instance last night where this large section of like trees and stuff just suddenly popped in. It was so odd to have that happening. Lastly, the last bad thing I do want to talk about is the swimming. Swimming feels awful pretty much most of the time. Maybe this improves when she gets an underwater breathing tool. We've sort of seen that in one of the trailers, so that way you don't have to constantly just dart back up. I feel like the minute you try to go deep, the minute you try to do anything, you're running out of oxygen. I don't know why you would introduce swimming and make it so unenjoyable from the very get-go. You feel like you're constantly under threat of drowning. Aloy can't hold her breath longer than an infant, it seems, which is odd, given she's like a warrior. And then the swimming controls are just pretty bad. I feel like I'm swimming through cement. It's difficult to tell why you're going so slow sometimes. There's currents that hit you, and I think that could be cool. But again, it's difficult to deduce sometimes why you're just suddenly getting thrown around or can't move forward or whatever. Grabbing and vaulting off of stuff it's a cool idea, but if anything isn't around, you're like a geriatric swimmer. It is very, very unenjoyable. I think the good far outweighs the bad. Swimming is hardly ever in the game. The other things are generally graphical or, again, some of the spammy attacks. Now, the review bombs for this game, I think, from where I sit, they're clearly written by people who haven't played the game. These are people who have the mental stability and maturity of children. They attack things because they're probably, I think some of them are Xbox fanboys that are jealous. The Series X still has, like, what, one actual next-gen title for it at this time, and here the PlayStation lands another seeming just knockout game for their platform, and the jealousy and the platform infighting is certainly there, and so people are attacking the game as a form of brand loyalty, which is just completely stupid. Those who seem to have played the game and are saying things like, it's boring, the graphics aren't that impressive, I don't know what game they're playing. I do think sometimes right now in the gaming world there's an unquantifiable sort of boredom movement. Everybody's sort of bored with everything. Nothing really impresses them. I think that's driving some of that narrative, some of the shrugged shoulders, some of the meh. I don't think those people are judging the game against the backdrop of what it set out to do. I don't think they're judging the game against the backdrop of other games in the genre. I think these people are being very, very dishonest. I mean, their bias is clearly showing. I can't hear criticisms that are so seemingly unfounded. They don't point to any actual problems. There are issues with some pop-in and some issues with some performance, but that's not the graphical fidelity of the game. That's not the beauty of the game. Those are quality of life things that can be patched. Now, criticisms about cultural appropriation, I think, are so void of thought and intellectual credibility, they aren't even worth responding to. I don't think whoever wrote that article should be in journalism. I don't think they should be writing for the public to read it because I don't think they're an honest person. I think it was a very dishonest article that attempts to grab very low-hanging cultural fruit right now, hoping, I guess, that the people that sort of clap for that type of thing would have cheered them on. That article and the person that wrote for it shouldn't be taken seriously or listened to. Again, I don't even think they deserve a response because zero intellectual credibility in those claims. So that's pretty much where I land on the game. If you liked my breakdown, hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss these updates, and I will see you in the next one. And I'll see the rest of you right now. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I don't know what happened. My Spectrum internet just completely died. I'm glad I'm not streaming on it this morning. Like, literally, I started watching that video and my Spectrum internet just went down. Let me check my plugs. Give me 1 second. I did it. I did it. I unplugged the cable by accident when I was back there. I bumped it, and so it came slightly out of the router. Oh boy, it's a good thing, like I said, we're not streaming on that router. We would have gotten like a minute into the live stream and it'd be like, Lono, where'd you go? So make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you are on live chat. Let's get our first 100 likes. Really strong start to the day. I want to hear from you guys on this, because honestly, you know, what should they be doing? What should they be doing with the review bombing situation, right? You cover everything I disliked, but the game is beautiful, especially when you glide from high places. Right, our outlet's making it so some reviews don't count, because 88% is not close to a review bomb, in my opinion. Well, 88%, Butters, is from the reviewers themselves. The public is review bombing. I think you have to go to Horizon. I think it's Horizon Forbidden West PS4. I think is where it's getting hit. Because if you go to the Horizon PS5 Metacritic, it has an 88 and an 8. But I think if you go to the PlayStation 4, it has a 6.6 on the user score. So people are going to the PlayStation 4 version. There's 152 negative reviews. So we could go read a couple. I'm sure they're brilliant. Yeah, 1s and 2s and 0s. 1s and 2s and 0s, bro. There's no way that people are honestly scoring this thing on Metacritic with a 1 or a 2 or a 0. That's a review bomb. That's not accurate. There is absolutely no way anybody has played this game start to finish and concluded it's a 1. That's just dishonest. That's not somebody being genuinely criticizing. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it. I do not see it as being possible that people with any shred of honesty are playing this game and being like, yeah, wham, it's a 1, it's a 0. The I Told You So is the game we expected it to be actually great. That's actually pretty darn comforting, giving most AAA releases lately. Yeah, this game is incredible. This game is incredible, right? Those Cyberpunk numbers and that game was a car crash, right? Yo, what's good, Feed? I see you in the chat. You are right. Is it pricing or a Cyberpunk situation? I mean, I can pull it up right now. I can pull it out right now. All right, hang on a second. Let's do Horizon for Forbidden. How do you... Oh, I added an I. I can't spell forbidden this morning. There we go. Horizon Forbidden West reviews. What should be done about review bombs? What should they do? Delete them, leave them. I don't know. Yeah, should they delete them or should they leave them? That's my question. Delete them or leave them? Yeah, let's read some of these very... I'm sure they're so brilliantly written. I'm sure. I'm sure these are all very, very thoughtful. The price of this game is enough to pay for 9 months of Game Pass, which gives me access to hundreds of games with all first-party day one. Call of Duty, Bethesda, Xbox games, day one and date, and all for 1/10 of this price. What greedy Sony are charging for a boring snowflake game. All Aloy looks like a man. Music is good, so 1 out of 10. Dems the rules. There you go. Literally somebody just absolutely licking the boot of Microsoft. That's such a thoughtful review, bro. I can literally spend almost no money and get way more games on my Xbox. But like a AAA award-worthy game comes out and you're incensed at the fact that you actually have to buy the game at full price. Do you see? This is exactly what I said the other day when I was taking issue with people doing the $10 loophole. Everyone is so concerned about being a good consumer that they've become bad consumers. Right? Like he says in Tropic Thunder, never go full, right? Never go full consumer. If you go full consumer, that's the kind of crap you're going to think and write. You should have to tie your Sony, Microsoft, etc. account to your Metacritic account so the site can see the game in your library before you post a review. Yeah, this is just some idiot. This is literally just some idiot who doesn't think they should have to spend money, for games. Here's another one. Everything is full of fog to cover up the pop-in. That's not true. There's I'm in tons of sections now with zero fog. That's actually not accurate. That's dishonest. Game is still boring as the first part was. Well, what the frick did you buy it for? Eternal Darkness renewing their membership and doing a tier 2. Thank you so much. Guys, don't forget there's a variety of ways to support the stream. Becoming a member, we really need membership to go up on this channel. We're going to be doing some things with the other big channel, and membership over there continues to go down, understandably, because we've made a lot of changes, and now it's not even getting consistent content. We've got good news with what we're doing over there, but it's just going to take some time, and we would love to see those of you that have been either new subscribers over here, maybe you're new to the show, really start to get involved, get invested, become the member. I understand people can't all become members. That's totally fine, but we really want to see membership hit about 500 over here. I'm always wearing a shirt from 80s Tees. Use code Lono at 80stees.com. The code usage on 80s Tees has slowed down quite a bit too. That's understandable. I think most people have diverted their support to the coffee, which is fine. The disc plates, you can use the link below or the disc plate command. And then my glasses are from Gunner Optics. So you can use the shirt command, disc plate command, or the glasses. Those links are also in the description below. We're down to like the final 30-something bags of the Frickmas blend. It's still February. There's still time, all right? We got a little bit of time left on this deal. Once it's gone, it's gone. Once we're out of February, I'm done. I'll let Madam drink the rest of it or give it to my friends. 33 bags remain. Get Fricked in February. Use code GetFricked to get 20% off the Frickmas blend, our holiday blend. It was the most popular in November and December, and it is my water. It is my wife's favorite. Water? The water is like I've never seen before. Dude, yeah, the frickin' water is amazing. The water looks unbelievable. Double Dip Club, thank you, old soul. Cardoc Ren coming in with 14 months. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you guys are double dipping with the membership over there and here, I got to tell you, you guys are the true champions because the membership growth has been a little slower than we wanted to see. We're hoping gifted memberships maybe changes that. 16 hours in, I love Zero Dawn. This far, I'm really unimpressed on the technical visual storytelling and even traversal basis. It sucks. Hope it picks up soon, at least in the story. I actually think traversal is the least polished thing in the game, and I find it frustrating. I get stuck in stuff all the time. The mount is like, riding a mount is honestly not good. I just stopped doing it. I was like, it isn't worth it. He runs, okay, so when you call the mount, he runs up to you and then runs away. It's like, what the frick are you doing, bro? Like, in every other game I've ever called my mount, it comes and, like, stands next to you. Convenient, right? It's a little irritating that every single time you call your mount, he comes running over and then he runs away. You're like, come back here. It was funny the first time. I thought, oh, must have been a glitch or something. But, like, every time I call him, he runs away. The second thing is, once I'm on him, it's horrible. It's horrible. Like, I get stuck on everything. His hoof gets stuck on a blade of grass. He can't really go over, like, the tiniest rock, the tiniest jump, the tiniest whatever, and he's getting stuck. So traversal needs a quality of life patch big time in this game. I just stopped calling my mount. It's easier for Aloy to just chart a straight course through the foliage. It's easier for her just to chart a course through the foliage, the mountains, the rocks, everything else. It's easier to do that than to take a mount, right? Secondly, the climbing traversal is great, but it's also sometimes truly weird. I'm like, what is going on? Number one, they've added so many unnecessary animations. She jumps and grabs something and she swings. You're like, okay, can I climb sometime today? Oh, now she's done swinging like a kid on a playground. Oh, she can climb now. Then I consistently, like, jump onto something and she doesn't respond to me. She kind of sits there for a second. I'm like, get your pullcaster out. I'm hitting left trigger. And she just like sits there. There's really awkward weirdness baked into Traversal right now. They really need to. They need to clean it up. I think they added other things to her movement set, her abilities and animations, and I believe it's removed fluidity and seamlessness in Traversal. It makes Traversal a bit of a headache. It's like, I love the freeform climbing. I love climbing and never using the focus. I think that's really, really excellent. I just did one of my first cauldrons last night. It felt awesome. It felt like I was genuinely finding my way through it. But, bro, there are times where I'm like, what the frick are you doing, Aloy? Like, stop. And I find that to be one of the things in the game they're going to have to polish up. I don't think that means it's a 0 or a 1 video game. They added far too much that it absolutely takes away from the experience. Yeah, it's too truncated. It's like, I know I'm not Spider-Man, okay? I know Aloy's not Spider-Man. I know you want a certain amount of realism, but she swings and she clips through stuff all the time when she's climbing, so then it looks bad. And then secondly, I'm like, she doesn't need to do all that. And why? Oh, man, this drives me crazy in video games. Why are we obsessed with someone grabbing a ledge and almost falling? It doesn't do the same effect anymore. It doesn't have the same effect anymore. It breaks. Like it's a kunk, and then she almost falls, or her hand slips and she almost falls. Why is that still? You know what I mean? She makes a final jump faster if you click O. She makes a final jump faster if you click O. I don't know what you mean by that, Veeder. I really don't. Here are some other reviews from Metacritic. Review bombing. Boring, mediocre open world game. Bland locations. The locations are breathtakingly intricate and beautiful. Too much, a lot of dialogue and cutscenes. That's not a complaint in a game like this. That's what's supposed to do. This person says they give it a 4. The graphics are great. Voice acting as well. Combat's okay. Story's well, it fell short. I did run into a bug. I also experienced some pop-in. I don't like to use this word a lot. The game is definitely overhyped. So is the game a 10? No. Is it a 0? No. It's pretty average. That seems like they're at least being honest, but a 4 seems really low for an average game. In my mind, an average game is like a 7. A 6 or a 7. You don't have any genuine complaints, right? You're just saying you find it average. This person says, totally bugged, I want a refund. Don't believe the Sony boys, they are trolling you. Okay, that guy doesn't own it. Yeah, and then the guy at the bottom, we already read that one. The guy who's like, the Game Pass argument. He's like, I can get more games on Game Pass than this game. Like, of course. Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can. That's not a judgment of how good the game is. Average is 5 maths. Well, no. You're arguing that. Come on. When you read a review and you see a 5, that's not an average game. That's a game that's barely making it. It's like, that game is right down the middle. There's no way it's any good. When someone says it's an average game, most of the time that's like a 7. It's like, it's not amazing and it's not bad, right? 5 is too close to bad. I mean, you're being pedantic. Like, everybody knows that 5 is not average. No one sees a review of 5 out of 10 and says, well, that game must be pretty average. They'd be like, that must be a bad game. Have you ever seen a 5 out of 10 and thought that? I'm going to buy that game when it's on sale. Seems like it's pretty average. A 5 out of 10? Really? What are you talking about? Average student is a C student. Yes. 70, 80 range. Failing is 50. That's what I mean. A 5 out of 10? No one's going to see a 5 out of 10 and think, oh yeah, that's pretty average game. Might be worth buying. Math doesn't lie. This isn't about math. That's not what this is. Even if you want to argue math, Eugene just showed you mathematically on a grading scale, you're wrong. According to the own rules you're setting for the discussion, you just got proven wrong within the parameters of the words that you're using. If you want to say we're going to apply this in a mathematical situation, okay, a mathematical grading scale, 5 ain't average. I got a 5 out of 10 on the quiz, Mom. That's pretty average, isn't it? No, you idiot. You failed the quiz. There were 10 questions and you only got 5 right. You failed. That's not average. That's not average. That's not like, oh, that's decent. That's bad. It's bad. 5 is average. The people saying 5 is average, you know what y'all have in common? You're all the people that defend Xbox ardently. That's suspect. You all are in agreement. Your bias is showing. A 5 is not average. Which, by the way, the person gave it a 4. The person gave it a 4. On a grading scale, which is what this is, 1 out of 10, okay? I'm sorry, 0 out of 10 on a grading scale. 5 is not considered average. It isn't. It's considered bad. It's considered poor, right? I love it. Sony fanboys crying about review bombs. So should we say that when games get review bombed on the Xbox, Willie? You think review bombs are good for the industry? You think it's helpful? You think tribalistic, immature, infighting is funny? Like, I think it's stupid and immature. It's only considered average because people think a 9 is poor. No one thinks that. I don't know who you're talking about, Cliff. I've never met a gamer who thinks a 9 is poor. Not a single person that I've ever spoken with said, yeah, I got a 9 out of 10, so I'm going to skip that one. Sounds like a pretty poor game. You guys just making up your own goalposts, right? Making up your own goalposts. They literally showed that, like, there's people that go to Metacritic and only give 10s to Microsoft games, and they give 0s to Sony games. Like, how insecure are you in your platform if that's what you're doing? How? How insecure are you as a person and as a gamer if that's what you do? You're like, dude, I'm going to go review bomb these games and praise the Microsoft games. Are they cutting you a check? Why are you licking the boot of some company that's done virtually nothing for the Series X since it's come out? Like, I don't understand. I can stack up so many great things for my PS5, and my Series X just kind of sits there. It's like, it's got nothing for it right now. Nothing. Unless you want to play the car game, Forza. Like, that's it. I don't think it's a review. I don't think it was review bombed. I think a lot of people played on PS4 and were expecting a lot and were disappointed. So you think people giving it 0s and 1s aren't review bombs? They all did it yesterday, by the way. It all hit on the 20th. Every single one of these reviews I'm looking at, 20th, 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 20th. And then now I'm into the 19s. Right? What is the problem with Metacritic not letting me review this banger 10 out of 10? This person's name is Salt Addict. That's not a review bomb. That's a genuine review. Very bad graphics and optimization. Now, this person, again, could be playing on the PlayStation 4, right? It more looks like not second part, but how far the first part should have looked. Finally, they slightly corrected animation of the faces and stopped being so stupid. You think that's a genuine review? It's a thoughtful review. Fanboys go both ways. So where are the review bombs for the Microsoft titles? Where? When Flight Simulator got treated like a media darling by Metacritic, where were the review bombs for that? Where? I didn't see any reports about that. I typically, in these instances, it's always the Sony games that are getting review bombed. Man, we have a huge turnout today. If you're enjoying the show, if you're enjoying my commentary, I'm safe for work. You're welcome to disagree with me. We're here Monday through Friday covering variety gaming news. So people put me in the background of their day like gaming radio. You can do that in confidence because I am safe for work. So make sure and hit subscribe, the bell button. Smash that like button. Let's get our next like milestone of 200. God of War wasn't review bombed. I never said it was. I didn't say it was review bombs. that your head's in the sand? Who, me? I didn't see any reports about the Microsoft media darling treatment that, like, Forza Horizon got. I never saw that. I didn't see any review bombs for Forza Horizon. I didn't see any review bombs for Flight Simulator. I didn't see that. As soon as Microsoft had some winners out in the running, I didn't see review bombs on Metacritic. You don't think I check like every gaming news feed that's out there? I literally check so I can cover relevant news, and I somehow have my head in the sand. If you're talking to me, you can politely frick off all the way to next week. I don't have my head in the sand. I literally check every gaming news feed in existence. I have a producer that checks for me as well. We have a gaming newsroom in the Discord. I'm more informed about gaming news than you probably are. I have literally 18 different ways of receiving gaming news, and I've never seen these Microsoft media darling games get hit with review bombs. I didn't see it happen. It would have been reported. There would have been articles about it. Forza Horizon didn't get hit, and neither did Microsoft Flight Sim. And they got absolute... Halo Infinite got review bombed? Halo Infinite was garbage when it came out. Are you kidding me? Halo Infinite pulled a magic trick. The reviews on Metacritic for Halo Infinite were only for the campaign. So everybody that were furious about the multiplayer and the state of multiplayer, they all went and started expressing their irritation. Are you actually going to compare Halo Infinite's launch to Horizon Forbidden West? Like, where are you? Psychonauts 2 got review bombed? I don't remember that. Did it? Did it actually get review bombed? Lono is being so unbiased? Yeah, I'm not. Okay, Psychonauts 2 Metacritic. Did it get review bombed? We would have talked about that. It has an 89 and a 7. It has an 87 and a 7.7. If it got review bombed, did they remove them? Okay, all right. Looks like it did get review bombed on the PlayStation 4. On the PlayStation 4, it got slammed for whatever reason. It's got a 5.2. All right, the Xbox One, a 91 and a 6. But again, that's on the Xbox One. So did it have performance issues on the old system? I don't know. It looks like on PC and the Series X, it got treated just fine. A 7.2 is an accurate score for that freaking game. And then that's a PC. And the Series X, it got a 7.7. That's an accurate score from everything I've seen. I disagree. He's being very biased. Okay, you've asserted something now. Now argue for it. How am I being biased? I would love for you to demonstrate how I am being biased by reading through clear review bombs of Horizon Forbidden West. How am I being biased by doing that? People that are saying things like, this is a snowflake game. The graphics are bad. People that are saying, another open world boring game. That's their review. It's boring and full of repetition, and they gave it a 3. They gave it a 3. I'm not entirely happy with the performance mode and the visuals. It's blurry and shimmery at times. It needs some patching. I grant that in the discussion. I've granted that there are quality of life things needed. I spent a significant amount of time this morning complaining about traversal and getting stuck and the spammy attacks. It's riddled with bugs, hyperbole from the Microsoft fanboy, surprising no one. It's not riddled with bugs. It isn't riddled with bugs. Pop-In is not riddled with bugs. Riddled with bugs? You want to talk about Halo? Should we talk about Halo? $500 million budget, and it took them 4 months to fix Big Team Battle. You want to talk about riddled with bugs? Should we compare? Didn't even work at launch. Didn't work. It launched its multiplayer in a beta. Riddled with bugs. Let's be honest, they're angry with the Craig of Halo Infinite. whatever that unnecessary nonsense was. Death Stranding was review bombed on Metacritic upon launch, receiving over 15,000 user reviews, overall score of 5.5. Publications noted that the user score bombings were both positive and negative, although found there were more later. Is it fair that Halo got 600 reviews? Wait. A negative rating isn't a zero. So you're saying out of the 639, those are all zeros? Because there's positive, mixed, and negative. Isn't negative as low as a 4? I'm seeing 4s in here that are red. I don't think you're right, Paul. I don't think a red automatic... Yeah, I'm looking at a 4 right now that's red. So they could have given it a 4 or lower on Halo Infinite. And yes, I think Halo Infinite deserved to be ripped to shreds for the way that it launched. You want to slice out the campaign and praise it? Multiplayer was an absolute joke when it launched and still is. The Battle Pass stretched for 6 months, the XP payout, the modes that didn't work right, the challenge system. Are you freaking kidding me? They've updated the game like 18 times and it still has fundamental problems. You don't think it should have gotten negative scores for the state that it launched in? It literally launched as a beta. It launched as a beta. And it's free, and they can't keep people playing it. It slipped from every list that exists about popularity. Like, it deserved to get reviewed poorly. It was bad. What do you mean? We're talking about, and that's exactly why I said in my review, I'm very disappointed and bummed at the graphical issues, man. You guys are really big. These things shouldn't be happening. Guerrilla, what'd y'all do? You shouldn't be having her clipping through every ladder that she climbs. Can you admit Horizon Forbidden West is being too highly praised? Look at his first full page of 10 reviews. No, I cannot admit to that. Can you admit to my position? That's so pompous. Why would you talk like that? I love when people say, can you admit? What do you mean? So I'm supposed to admit to your view like it's fact? What do you mean it's being too highly praised? It's a beautiful, breathtaking game. It's a next-gen game. There's very few next-gen games out right now. Like, pop-in and graphical issues doesn't mean a game's being too highly praised. Like, imagine playing through a game that has won, tons of awards. Let's say, what was a game that won Game of the Year recently? Well, let's take It Takes Two, all right? It Takes Two, brilliant, super innovative, awesome game, very creative. It was like 8 games in one, right? It was an awesome game. And it, let's say it had some issues with graphical pop-in or some weirdness when it first launched. I don't think anybody would say, oh, it was completely overly praised, though. Too many people were being nice in giving it good high scores because it had some graphical issues. It had some pop-in. It had some flashes before cinematics. You know what I mean? Absolutely agree with that failing that reviews should be tied to an account that actually played the game. PSN and Xbox game aggregate scores would be more accurate. Right, because you'd have to have proof that you played the game. You'd have to have it linked to your PlayStation account, and you'd have to prove that you had played the game. I'm not talking crap on the game. I've just seen a lot of crap. The game is gorgeous, plus it's like a first for me. I can't get into it. Had to leave when you were playing. Loved God of War, though. This is Halo getting some zeros. Right. Well, let's just be clear, Paul. You stated that it got like 100 and something or however many negative zeros. That's not true. A red can be a 4, a 3, a 2, a 1, or a 0. Right? 0. One of the worst shooter games I've ever played. Shooting mechanic feels outdated, and it's not satisfying. The game is one big steaming pile of garbage. The greedy developers are giving us an incomplete game for 60. Co-op is coming out next. Okay, but that's clearly not someone review bombing. You can tell by the way they're arguing. They're a fan of the franchise. If you're going to talk about co-op, that's not a review bomber. That's somebody who's irritated about the fact that Halo literally launched without 2 foundational features. It launched without Forge, and it launched without co-op. Halo Infinite's broken and dysfunctional game system just proves how much Xbox needed to buy Bethesda's catalog. Listen, when a game launches in the state that Halo launches, I think reviews like that make sense. Missing features, literal games that don't work right, come on. Like, that makes sense. I'm not going to defend every 0 that somebody gave Halo Infinite. What I'm saying to you is the state that Halo Infinite launched in, after being delayed for an additional year, it deserved to get shredded. It didn't launch in a good state. It didn't even launch in a complete state. It was really, really bad. As much as I love Halo, the sandbox being great and the best it's been, can only be said for so long when the rest of the game is in a shambles. Ranked, BTB, campaign. I thought they're doing fixes to the campaign. I thought the campaign was fine. I didn't see any major complaints about the campaign. But the campaign can't make up for everything else. Oh, the lack of co-op, right, Wolvie? Yeah, even the campaign, as good as it is, can't make up for the rest of the massive problems that game had. The store, the codings, the XP, the progression of the battle pass, big team battle not working, ranking not working, the challenge system, how they have their events structured. Come on. That game deserved to get bad reviews. Look, if Aloy, if Horizon Forbidden West would have launched and, like, her bow and arrow didn't work, I would expect it to get shredded and get, like, 0s and 1s. You know what I mean? It'd get bad scores. Like, Halo literally launched and it was missing features, missing stuff, and stuff that was in there didn't work right. Distorted says, I think old gen and current gen reviews need to be both specified in the review and separated since they are separate games so we can see where the criticism is coming from. But that's how they do it on Metacritic, Distorted. I'm reading through the 0s and they're all on the PS4. If the PS5 doesn't have nearly as many, the PS5 doesn't have nearly as many negative scores. It had less. So there's 163 negatives on PS4. Well, let me show you the difference here. It's kind of confusing. Hang on, because way more people have rated let me show you. That's the wrong cap card. Give me 1 second, and there we go. Okay, so this is the breakdown for the PS5, okay? Over 3,000 people have given it a positive. And, you know, negatives a 708, okay? Now, this guy down here says he's literally giving it a 1. And read his reasoning. This is just another terrible review. I played it over 20 hours now, and I gotta say, the gameplay gets boring quickly. I think it's overhyped. At the moment, PlayStation people want the killer app. Looks great, plays not so great, and repetitive, gets boring quickly. And he spelled boring the same way both times with 2 O's. Boring, right? Gave it a 1 because it's boring. Did you play the first one? It's an expanded, enhanced, and bettered content loop compared to the first one. And that guy gave it a 1. You think that's a legitimate review? It's boring. 1. It got a 10%. All right, now, this is the PS4 breakdown. So, way less reviews. Now, why, pray tell, do you think the review bombs all landed here yesterday on the 20th? They all hit yesterday, most of them. I scrolled down through. It seemed like most of them landed yesterday on the 20th. Why? Well, because there's way less. It's a whole lot easier to tank this score because there's only 310 positives. It's way harder over here. But you can clearly see. Like, look, mixed 181 and 708. You see what I'm saying? First one gets boring also. I mean, that's subjective. That's subjective to the player. Every game, you repeat the content loop. Every game, you repeat the content loop. And it just expands and enhances. Like, I don't understand what exactly people are looking for. I think that's genuinely my question, right? That's genuinely my question. Do you start reading a book and get like 6 chapters in, you're like, you know, it's just a lot of words and sentences and paragraphs. I don't. I don't know, man. This just seems kind of boring. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know what people are looking for. It's like going to the library, grabbing a book, grabbing Harry Potter, and getting like 6 chapters in and being like, it's just a lot of words and sentences, man. There's characters, there's dialogue. I just don't, it's just kind of boring. It's just more of the same, you know? That's what I don't know why. I feel like most of the commentary on games right now centers around this unspoken boredom. Like, people can't even quantify it, you know? Yo, what's good, Orphan Twin? They can't even quantify it. Why is it boring? Well, it's repetitive. What game isn't? Love the shirt. Thank you. Appreciate that. Don't forget, guys, go to 80s Tees and use code Lono to get yourself 30% off. Hey, somebody ordered some coffee a little while ago, a bag of the Frickmas, and they used the code and Frank Sinatra. Now, that's a funny name. All right, thank you very much. You can use code GETFRICKed to get fricked in February. Get yourself 20% off. Every game is repetitive. That's what a game is. It's a repetition of action over a period of time, and those actions enhance and change and deepen as you go. Disordered, I'm going to be honest, I'll only pay attention to next-gen console reviews. This is where the real experience of the game is meant to be, as far as consoles, if we're being honest. Well, sure, but I don't think that's really what's driving the issue here. I really don't. You know what I mean? I just pre-ordered Elden Ring. Happy Elden Week. I watched Asmon play, changed my mind. Changed your mind about Elden Ring in what regard? Even that review could be just someone who doesn't like the game. It's not a requirement to write a book for a review. Yeah, but homie, giving it a 1 because you found it boring? Here's another one. Here's a 0. A 0. And this guy reviewed it on both. I recognize his name. He reviewed it on both the PS5 and the PS4 version. The game looks nice, but it does not really feel new. It is very shallow, no depth at all. For a 2022 game, that's kind of not okay. Unless being a total fanboy, I would only get this when it's on sale. So it's shallow, even though they, tripled the customization and the skill count in the game? Added there was stuff in this that wasn't even in the first game. There's things you can do with your character in the combat that wasn't even in the first game. All new enemy types. All of them are brand new for the most part. I've not seen a single repeated enemy type yet. A $5 tip from Fuzzy. Thank you so much. Oh, I forgot to read Doom's $5 tip. Hang on, Doom. I'll get to you. Fuzzy with a $5 tip. Gamers are cringe and never satisfied. That's what it is. I hate to sound like a boomer, but back in my day, we could only dream of a game like Horizon Forbidden West. Doom with a $5 tip says, the hell Xbox gets is on Twitter. Most PlayStation fans there want Xbox to fail. Xbox fans get emotional and do dumb stuff like this. I don't agree with it. Thank you, Doom, for the $5 tip. I'm sorry I didn't shout that out. I mean, I am absolutely blown away that we're still doing this. Do you hear what I'm saying? I'm not surprised, right? It's like when my kids are fighting. It's not surprising. It's what kids do, okay? If my kids are 15 and 16 and still fighting the way they fight now, well, then I'll be surprised. Why are you still doing this? You should have outgrown this. The gaming community should have outgrown this behavior, right? If you want early gameplay video for Elden Ring, it releases on the 24th as opposed to midnight. If you want early gameplay video, oh, it releases at 6. Oh, really? Yeah, that'll be good for our one channel that we have. If you guys are hitting subscribe, thank you for doing that. Welcome on in. Name of the channel is Reforge Gaming. We cover variety gaming news topics. Everybody calls me Lono. I am a safe for work broadcaster. We're obviously having a hot debate. You're welcome to disagree with me. We're not allowed. You just don't be nasty. And make sure and smash the like button. That's a free way to support the video. Let's cruise past 200 likes and set our sights on 300 likes. Cruising to 500 viewers. Thank you for being here. If you hit subscribe, I'll be in your sub feed all week doing this. A lot of people treat me like video game radio. So make sure and hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss these live streams. Yo, it's good, chest pain. The behavior just gets recycled with the next generation of gamers. It's just how it works. I agree that tribalism drives all of this. It's constant mudslinging both ways. Does anyone actually read game reviews? I don't. Right, like, it's becoming an act of... like... I don't even know what to call it. It's like this self-indulged, just... It isn't narcissism. It's... I don't know what it is. It's like arrested development. It's like childish tantrum throwing. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. Do you watch reviews, though? No, I don't watch reviews. I usually read the review outlets. To get like a... Because we did that the other day. We combed over all the review outlets for Horizon to get a general consensus. That's usually what I do. I don't have time to watch reviews. Let's find another zero. There's a bunch of zeros in other language. You know what I mean? I can't read a lot of these. It's full... This guy gave it a 0. It's full of bugs. Can't get past the first part. Paid €70. Now I'm going to make a refund. It's ridiculous. And about the story, I can't get into the story it has. The graphics are beautiful, but if you're experiencing these bugs, it's not worth your time. Is there an actual bug at the beginning that people can't get past? Mucho bugs. There's a couple here that are literally copying and pasting and saying the same thing in another language. I just don't understand why the game gets high praise, even though I never care for either rating system. But at times it can be biased and simply wrong. 88 isn't that high anyway, just saying. But back to my point, why is this game hyped to the moon and back? What is so special about this empty open world? I finished the game about 5 hours ago. Doubt. Or he just put it on easy and steamed through it. And I've been free roaming around the map for 3 hours. There's hardly anything cool or fun to do. Yes, there are robots, but that gets old fast. By the way, the story is extremely cheesy, like very cheesy. Last 20 minutes and final boss fight are absolute cringe. I actually regret buying it, and I rarely regret buying games. Some people are really trying to hate AC Valhalla like it's some bad game. It's not. It's amazing. But I would rather play Valhalla right now than keep roaming around in this game because it's so boring and the story was weak. Let's be real here. It was weak writing. Very weak even. So my question would be, is this game hyped up? Do you see what I mean? They just keep restating the same thing. Why is it weak? Why is it cringe? Why is it boring? You know what I mean? I don't... It doesn't make any sense to me. 88's a great score. I actually think 88's a fair score in light of the graphical stuff. Right? If I think an 88 is a fair score, I do. I don't think it deserves to be above a 90 right now. There are issues with the game. It deserves its 88. I think 88, an 85 to an 88 is a completely legitimate score for this game right now. It's got issues that need to be resolved. I'm not going to argue. There are people that think the 88 is too low. I'm like, no, that's pretty solid score. It's got stuff they need to fix. And the stuff I talked about with Traversal, right? She doesn't shut up. But that's how she was in the first game. That's what she does. She's, number one, she's a loner. And number two, that's how they clue you in. Tomb Raider did the same thing. Did anybody play Tomb Raider? Lara Croft would be in a tomb, and she'd be like, oh, I've got to get that thing up there. And if you walk past it a bunch of times, she'd keep saying it. Oh, I've got to get that thing up there. Well, maybe I can use this pulley system. Maybe those rocks over there. Maybe I could find some dynamite. That's what they do in these games. I played Uncharted the other day, and he did the same thing. He was like narrating his movements. You know what I mean? Yeah, Witcher does it. It's constant. It's a normal, it's a marker of these types of games. Coffee? Did we get a coffee order? All right, let me check. Geralt literally doesn't shut up. Yeah, they do it all the time. Geralt will tell you about everything he sees. Like, there must be a lubberkin. There's a footprint here. He's just constantly whispering to himself. Wind's howling. Hey, you're a typical Mexican with a brand new membership. Thank you so much. Enjoy the dope badge and emotes. You're dope and deserve dope stuff. Let's get that membership going, man. If you haven't ever supported the channel directly and you enjoy what I do here, we would really love to see the membership go up. So click the join button. You can use the join command in chat. Sometimes people are like, how do you become a member? What are you talking about? It's a $5 a month thing. You get a badge, you get emotes, you get increased access on our Discord. So, am I doing the coffee command wrong? You have to do exclamation point coffee. Anytime you want to use a command, it's exclamation point and then the word. So exclamation point shirt, display, glasses, coffee. That's how you do it. Or exclamation point join. You know, use that and start a member trade. Here's another one. Clearly a person that bought the game because they wanted to enjoy it. Aloy is even more annoying than the first game. Graphics are amazing and the machines are cool, but how can anyone get into this cringe fest? How did an update to the first game take 5 years to make? The company who made the amazing Killzone 2 in 4 years is long gone. But by the time Horizon 3 comes out, I will be old and Aloy's grown a full beard. Yeah, this person clearly played the game. It's a trustworthy review right here. This is trustworthy, you know. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, this is somebody saying that it's been a minute since I played. I don't remember Laura talking that much. I don't know if she talked as much as Aloy Mo, but she did the self-narration and problem-solving. 100% I know she did. Because I remember getting stuck in a tomb once, and I was like, shut up, Laura, because I kept walking past the one thing. She's like, I've got to get that thing up there unstuck, or whatever she was frickin' saying. Like, this guy listen, I'm just going to be dead honest with you. The minute one of these, like, Neanderthals puts cringe in their review, I can see what they look like. You know what I mean? I can see what they look like. They're just some disgruntled, unhappy, like, Reddit drone incel. You know? They're the ones that are annoyed with her looks. They're the ones that are annoyed that, like, you know, like, it doesn't have more TNA in it or something. Like, they're annoyed with the fact that, like, it's a strong female lead that has clothes on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, as soon as I see the word cringe, I'm like, okay, I've got you pegged. I've got you frickin' pegged. Worst sequel of all time. Bad story. Repetitive gameplay. Filler side quests. Here's another one. A zero. What's today's topic? Well, right now, I'm asking the audience. There's 500 votes already on the poll. Horizon Forbidden West reviews. What should be done about review bombs? Okay? All right? Delete them or leave them. 60% are saying they should be deleted. Right? Mad Mardigan with a 10 spot. A $10 tip says, review bombing is a good way for the public to speak out against a company that has been anti-consumer or releases unfinished games like EA. We can't set a precedence for removing reviews. I disagree with what you said in so many ways. Right? That's like saying throwing food at your server is a good way to speak out against bad management or something. That doesn't make any sense. That's not how you do it. That's the wrong way to approach it. If you want to call out bad practices in unfinished games, then do it with an actual intellectual review or a video, or I don't know, get your homies to tweet about it or something. But to review bomb? Why? That's not what this is for. That isn't. Like, That doesn't make any sense. Hey, somebody ordered some coffee. 3 bags of light roast to JW. Thank you, JW. You the man. You the man. Let's see here. Hey, let's keep that sub count going too. New subs are rolling in, man. We're cruising to the next sub milestone. How's your day? It's going well. JW with 13 months. Also renewing his membership. Thank you, JW. Keep up the great work. Ordered some coffee just now to celebrate. Thank you. Lucky number 13. Thank you for that renewal. How can sites verify purchases like Rotten Tomatoes, maybe? Cereal? Well, you sync it with your account. All you have to do is sync it with your Sony or your Microsoft account, and they'd be able to be like, yeah, this is a verified purchase. And let me guess, I bet you $10 that like 75% of these zeros and these ones and these really low scores, I bet you most of these people have never touched the game. They don't even own the game. I guarantee you. When they say things like, it's boring, it's cringe, it's repetitive, it's a snowflake game, that's not somebody who's played the game. It's not. It's some Microsoft fanboy running to Metacritic to hate on the latest Sony hit. They see all the reviews, they see all the praise, and they get their Xbox, Phil Spencer boxers get all twisted up, and so they run to Metacritic to spew a bunch of nonsense and give it a 0. Like, imagine the fleeting sense of satisfaction they even get from doing this. Like, what a pitiful existence. Run to Metacritic and say it's cringe and snowflake? Come on. You're not accomplishing anything. Review bombing is the actions of pathetic, spineless losers who probably still cling to mommy when they don't like something. Yo, good morning, Noble Beast. I haven't seen any praise apart from it looks pretty. The combat's significantly cooler and enhanced. There's newer things you can do. The sound design is phenomenal. The impact of your actions on the enemies is great. The melee combat is probably some of my favorite. I actually think it feels really, really good. The world actually feels threatening. It honestly feels like Traversal has been given an excellent level of sort of like freedom and not fluidity. It lacks fluidity, but freedom, and like you can just kind of go where you want, right? It's excellent. It feels really, really good to just free climb and go do different things and go to different areas. It feels absolutely stellar. The character animations, the characters look real. They look real. You can't find a game right now where the players look this realistic. I can zoom in. My wife had me zoom in on Aloy's hand in photo mode. It looked like a real hand. My wife's like, she's got fingerprints. Look. She like pointed the skin on her finger. And it adds to the dialogue. It adds to the cutscenes. They all look like real people. They're using ray trace sound in this one, so I bet the sound's amazing. Yeah, it sounds really, really good. It sounds really good. Let's wait until my next paycheck to buy it, but I'm trusting the feedback this community and Lono have given about the game. Yeah, you just need to be fair warned. Traversal is a little clunky and buggy, and they got to work on it. When you're on a mount, I don't even ride a mount right now. I find it to be irritating. I find the climbing in the Traversal to be halting and odd and clunky at times. So it's like they added all this freedom and she can kind of go wherever she wants. And yet, I think one of the things they lost in doing that is you end up finding all sorts of rough edges. Like, think of it this way. If I have you over for a dinner party and we only go into the living room and the dining room, you could say to yourself, man, that's a really clean, very polished home. But the next time you come over, I let you go everywhere. I give you a full tour. Closets, the basement, the unfinished part of the basement, where the laundry is, all of that. What's going to happen? Well, you'll probably see some rough edges in the home. Some, a sock on the floor, or a cobweb, or, a book that was left out. Because why? Well, I'm giving you more freedom to just roam through my house. So when you get an increased level of traversal and exploratory freedom in a game like this, you're just going to stumble on more rough edges. You're going to get stuck in something. You're going to get hung up on a ledge. You know, mounts are stupid. I had one that just kept stopping by giant robots I was trying to run past. Just got off and ran away. Yeah, it'll like, it'll come up to you and then run away. It's like, what are you doing? It'll do that too. A 5 spot from Matty Jarvis. Fanboyism is literally one of the worst things in gaming. Crap people do to defend their piece of plastic they play games on is honestly sad. Yeah. So if you're just tuning in, my Horizon Forbidden West review is at the beginning of this stream. I want to know what you think about the review bombs. Should they be removed? Like, when they all come in like this, I think there should be a way to vet the purchase. One of the most disappointing games in the past years. Gameplay is boring, and there's almost no story to keep you playing. That's not true. See, this is how you know people aren't playing the game, because they're contradicting each other. All right? One guy says there's too many story, too many cutscenes, and then this guy says there's no story. Right? And they're all saying the same thing. They're all using the same words. Boring. Oh, it's boring. It's repetitive. This guy gave it a 0. Next person gives it a 0. The same Horizon. Only more cast scenes with stupid dialogue that are terribly annoying. The plot is mediocre, otherwise more beautiful, wider, richer. 30 FPS is unplayable. At 60, alas. Soap, chess, upscaling. I personally met more bugs than in Cyberpunk. Found one. We found one, chat. We found one. He typed that, chat. He typed that. I have personally met more bugs than in Cyberpunk. This one, even worse. Another 0. Another 0. Even worse than Horizon Zero Dawn, which is saying something. Every character looks like if a random person from the street was performing at a circus. Here it is. Here's the winner. Here's the crowning jewel of their complaint. Even Aloy looks less sexy. There it is. I told you, just a bunch of incels, bro. That's all these guys are. They're just a bunch of incels. She looks less sexy. 0. There's not enough jiggling and bikinis in this. 0. They're all using the same token buzzwords. I suspect these guys read through a few reviews, cherry-picked the nitpicks, and made it sound much worse than it actually was. Yeah, like they're all using the same token buzzwords. They're saying cringe, they're saying annoying, and they're saying boring. Those are like the 3 hallmarks of all these reviews. We're supposed to believe that somehow there's a consensus between all the people using the 0 and the 1. They're all saying annoying, boring, and cringe. All of them. Do you consider yourself a man-child? Yeah, I do. Yep. Yep. Am I supposed to respond with all the things I do, like, I don't know, own and operate, a business, multiple lines of that business, actually 2 businesses, single income family, 2 kids, own a home. Like, is that what I'm supposed to do? Am I supposed to get out my man card? How fragile is your masculinity that you need a man card? Is that what I'm supposed to do? Is that how I'm supposed to respond to your question? I'm just curious what script you're pulling from. You know what I mean? What's hilarious is that the effect is lost. We all know it's being review bombed. Over 20 million people bought the first game. Nothing will stop the success of Sony. That's a good point. Like, over 20 million in sales for the first game, but it's boring and annoying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Boring and annoying. Like, that's the best you can come up with. It's worse than the last game. It's more boring than the last game. Here's one. Another 0. People writing articles. Oh no, Sony's masterpiece gets review bomb. Must be trolls. By the way, these people who write these articles haven't even played the game. Their automatic reaction is, this game has a female lead. Must be women-hating trolls. No. I loved Tomb Raider games. I have 0 issues with female leads. I even like that you can play as Mona in Max Payne 2. This game is really bad on performance mode. What? Bugs everywhere. And the story, oh god. Whoever wrote this clearly didn't even care slightly. It's one of the most boring stories I've ever played in AAA games. Do you see what I mean? Like, this person knows they're review bombing, tries to defend against the fact that they're review bombing, and they just say, well, it's boring. 0. Like, how can you admit to the public that you have 0 self-awareness? Like, you have 0 self-awareness. You're not review bombing? You gave the game a 0 because you think it's boring. You think that's a fair way to score the game. Even games that I've had really bad experiences with and make legitimate harsh criticisms about, I don't give a 0. A 0? It's just completely devoid of quality and anything good. When you got to clarify that you're not review bombing, you are indeed review bombing, and everyone can see your pettiness. Right, like, you came to this site to give the game a 0, and the most substantive thing you have to say is, oh, it's boring. You know what I mean? They're all saying the same thing. I did hear performance mode was wonky. I mean, I haven't had any issues. I know that doesn't mean there aren't issues. I know there are issues. I think people are overstating the issues. I'm not seeing evidence of, like, consistent game-breaking problems. There's pop-in and a weird flash that sometimes happened with the what's it's called? With the QuickTime events. You just contradicted yourself with Halo? No. I didn't say that Halo deserved 0s. I said Halo deserved to get low scores, is what I said. Go back to the tapes, because Paul said, oh, Halo got X number of 0s. I said, no, it got X number of negative scores. A negative score could be a 5, no, a 4, yeah, a 4 or lower. How money did Sony pay you? How much money? A whole lot more than your mom did. The frick out of my chat, bro. Haven't heard much good about the game outside of you. To just dismiss anyone's review that didn't think the story was good seems odd. I'm dismissing people who are giving it a 0, and that's all they're saying. Right? They're giving it a 0, and that's all they're saying. That's such an illegitimate review. That's so illegitimate. A 0? The story's boring. That's all you're gonna say. Listen, if I'm gonna watch, let's say that you make a 2.5 hour long movie, and I say movie was boring, 0. Would you feel that's a fair assessment of your movie? Did I talk about the cinematography, the acting, the casting, the screenplay, the script? Did I talk about any of that? Did I talk about the pacing, the narrative, the sound, the sets, the costumes? I literally say it's boring, 0. Would you feel that that's legitimate? I heard Sony paid you $50,000. Yeah, I bet you heard that. That's hilarious. Yeah, Sony's paying $50,000 to a streamer with 500 viewers. And what do we have? We almost have 12,000 subs. Yeah. I'm getting away with highway robbery. I'm getting away with highway robbery. In a stunning turn of events, ladies and gentlemen, an up-and-coming YouTuber with a moderately sized channel bagged a $50,000 contract to read review bombs on Metacritic and to call people incels. Like, what the frick are you even talking about? There's a reason why YouTube went from a 5-star rating to dislike, because the majority of people will just say 0 or 5. Yeah, they ran into the same problem on a t-shirt voting site that I used to be a part of. There's no game ever created worthy of a 0. 0 shouldn't even be an option. It should be a 1 or a 10. Well, but as soon as you make it 1 to 10, now the 1 is the 0 distorted. It kind of doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? You know what other game story is boring and uninspired? Kingdoms of Amalur. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm dismissing reviews that are worthy of being dismissed. You know what I'm saying? They're worthy of being dismissed. It's like here's one that is a 4. And again, this seems hard to believe. It's one sentence. It's a good game with great graphics, but the bugs are annoying and it bricked my PS5. Doubt. A 0 from a user named Female Gamer. I bet that's true. People in the forums are an absolute joke. I was reading one today, not going to tell you what form it was, but anyone can guess. They throw out every possible defense against bad reviews. Like, for example, easiest, of course, trolls. Then it's Xbox fanboys, then PC fanboys. They must hate her because it's a woman, and so on. Methinks you doth protest too much. Nobody of these people is actually even proposing that maybe, just maybe, the game actually sucks. How about that? How about you actually play it and then try to defend it for whatever stupid reason you have? I'm so done with this nonsense. That's their review. Female Gamer. You know it's a woman because she put Female Gamer. You know it's true, man. That's real right there. That's 100% verifiable, thoughtful woman's point of view on the game. Oh my gosh. They didn't even talk about the game. They didn't. You know it's being review bombed when people come and say we're not review bombing it. And listen to what they say. Trolls, Xbox fanboys, PC fanboys, and they must hate her because it's a woman. Oh golly. This is great. Yeah, you can take that to the bank. This person gave it a 1 and went meh. Whenever I think of something more to say about this game, mediocrity and bland, used up open world formula combined with stale, strong woman, Mary Sue characters. They all have the same thing in common. They're all saying, they all have the same viewpoint. It's just one more guy with the same viewpoint. It's boring, and she's this strong woman, Mary Sue. They all say the same thing. It's a horse of a different color. It's the same dude in every one of these reviews. The same angry, frustrated gamer dude is just letting out all of his aggression on a female character, right? Let's check what the current average score is on the PlayStation Store. You'd have to pay to bomb it there, so lowest scores will only be from those who actually played it. Yeah. Can you see? Let's see. Horizon Forbidden West, Sony Store. Did they show? They're gonna hide the bad reviews. It's their own website. Yeah, do they show the stars here? Can someone find that for me? Would it be on the Buy Now page? Is it on the... No. Yeah, I don't know if there's a page for it. Let me see if this one has it. Yeah, they've got the editions and the stats. Somebody might have to find it for me because I'm not able to see it on their page here. Yeah, here's PSN deal. Oh, that might be a review on PSN deals. Read us the 10s. Okay, I'll read you a 10. It's the first one on my screen right here. All right. Surprised that no one mentioned a new feature. You can enable gyro aiming in settings, and believe me, it makes it far more accurate, but requires a little bit of training to master. Wow. This sounds like somebody who's actually played the game. That's interesting. If you finish Zero Dawn on hard and still remember how to play, choose hard difficulty. Okay. I pre-ordered while reading critics' reviews and was happy to find out they isn't lies. No regrets, awesome game, but all of you can read the critics' reviews. I will focus on the downsides now, okay? Can confirm the issue with Aloy constantly tells you what to do is an issue even on hard difficulty. Even more frustrating that she is silent when you are actually lost. Bugs are rare and aren't terrible, just glitching NPCs in the background of cutscenes, and sometimes screen goes blank for a second. Yeah, that's the flash I've been getting before like a cutscene or a QTE. What actually drives me mad, that critical hit when machine is down must be pressed only when it appears. You can't keep mashing the R1 button while nearby. Have no idea why. In Zero Dawn, it was just fine. I have been having that issue as well. P.S. Stop wasting your time on reviews. Just go play it already. Yeah. Now, somebody might say, well, they gave it a 10 while being critical. Doesn't that mean the score is inaccurate? I actually trust this review more because they're saying, yeah, it's great. I've actually played it. Here are some of the issues I'm dealing with. That's better than a 0 and being like, just some annoying strong woman. It's boring. Bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's more trustworthy. Doesn't sound like a 10 review? Well, sure, but that's what people do on these websites. In this person's mind, if they're recommending you buy the game, they're giving it a 10. They're giving it a thumbs up. Right? If someone's saying, no, don't buy the game, they're giving it a 0. No, don't buy it. I'm saying that the reasoning, right? The reasoning is dramatically different. One is more trustworthy than the other. Do you see? I'm not arguing for the validity of the scores or the invalidity of a score. I'm arguing for the trustworthiness of the people who clearly played the game. This person is like, I've actually played it. Here's a feature you should check out. Here's some of the issues that are kind of annoying right now. It's great. Go play it. Every other 0 that I read, it's annoying. It's a snowflake game. It's boring. It's cringe. They're all using the exact same vocabulary. That's a tell. That's a telltale sign of a review bomb. They're just coming to say, it's boring, it's cringy, it's annoying. Right? That to them is the height of what they could say because they've not played it. If they would have played it, now listen, if I saw a review on here that was a 0 and they outlined in detail all these individual problems that I've been talking about and other people have been talking about, then I could be like, you know what? At least this person's legitimately played it and they've concluded that people should stay away. That's their opinion and that's okay, right? That's their opinion, that's okay. But when people just storm Metacritic to say boring, annoying, and cringe, I don't trust your review. I don't think you've played it. I think you're a liar. Game has problems, but 10 out of 10. Game is boring, 0 out of 10. Both are crazy and illogical. No, I don't think so at all. No. To give a game a 10 out of 10 and recommend people play it, do you think I'm illogical for saying that? Yeah, I think this game deserves high praise, high marks, and I think you should play it. And I say that while saying it has problems. 10 out of 10 means perfect. That's how scores work. But scores on sites like this are subjective to the user. This user thinks that a 10 out of 10 is a game that they're recommending strongly, not a game that's perfect, as displayed by what they wrote. Right? You're attempting to apply that to their score. Now, there's a giant difference between when like IGN does it and says 10 out of 10 game, It's a masterpiece. And then they outline all these problems. It's like, well, that seems a little odd. Why wouldn't you have given like a 9, or an 8.5 or something? That's a review outlet. That's not the same as an individual user that's decided their version of 10 out of 10 is, I'm recommending it. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not splitting hairs and trying to be like pedantic. I genuinely think there's a huge difference between a review outlet being like 10 out of 10 and then they list all these problems. That's really odd, right? Using the grading analogy, you could get 100 on a test because you got some extra credit, but you still got a few questions in the main test wrong. Right, like this person in their mind is giving the extra credit and saying, no, yeah, it's a 10 out of 10. You should check this game out. Here, there's some issues though. So it looks like you have to be looking on the PS Store on the actual PS4 or the PS5 to see the star rating score. You can't see it in the app. Okay, got it. JW with a $10 tip. I feel like people just don't know what they like. Game's trash. What do you usually play? Exclusively Call of Duty. Well, yeah, of course you don't like this game. Stick with your genre, right? Well, yeah, I mean, the one guy literally was like, it's a 0 out of 10. I can get way more games on Game Pass. He was angry that it was a full-price game. Just some video game Karen who thinks he should be given a game for $0. Let's read some more of the high scores, right? All right, let's read another 10 out of 10. This game is a step up in every aspect compared to Horizon Zero Dawn, and considering how good Horizon Zero Dawn was, shows the effort and talent and vision behind the game. Combination of Witcher's side quest quality and Red Dead's world detail and a new level of visuals and animations especially made this game nothing less than a masterpiece. I just can't believe why the meta score is less than 90, while I think it deserves at least a 92. What's wrong with the critics these days? So they're clearly drawing and comparing to other games and saying, this is what it feels like, this is how good it is. And they're right. Horizon Zero Dawn was a masterpiece. It was very, very good. Over 20 million in sales, highly praised. I'm fairly certain it won awards, and I agree. It's improved in almost every aspect. You know what I mean? It's improved almost every aspect of the game. 10 out of 10 doesn't mean perfect game, but that the problems it may have do not detract enough from the experience to be considered flawed. Right, that's another good way of putting it. I agree with that, Vanessa. Yes. So the average player's batting average is a .5. 10 out of 10, but I think the score should be 92. That was confusing. Well, I think what they're saying is, again, they can't give it a 92. They can only give it a 9 or a 10. So they think it deserves slightly higher than a 9, right? So they're giving it a 10. Like, that's probably their logic. I'm not going to speak for them. Game is amazing. Trying to find more substantive reviews because people are just saying it's awesome. Like, great game, excellent graphics, absolute game of the year. The story they made deserves an Oscar. All the hate around here is because of the console war. Unfortunately, there are people who don't know what sincerity is. All right, here's one. 10 out of 10. This game has been a blast and is an improvement over the original in almost every way. Dialogue between characters is more meaningful and dynamic. I would agree with that. The new mechanics are terrifying, the new machines are terrifying, but super fun to fight. Aloy is far more customizable than ever, and you can truly tailor the experience to your liking. I highly recommend this game to anyone in the PlayStation ecosystem. It is truly a masterpiece. Yeah, I mean, that again, there's a consensus here from people giving it 10s. People that enjoyed the first game and are playing this one and saying, yeah, it's improved quite a bit. What was a common thread in the people that were giving it 0s? It's just as bad as the first. It's just as boring as the first. Who the frick buys the sequel to a game that they didn't enjoy? Like, how dumb are you? Really? On a scale of dumb to super dumb, how dumb are you to buy a game sequel to a game you didn't enjoy? Like, who does that? Did you like Ghost of Tsushima? I thought it was crap. It was boring. There's a new one coming out. Oh, I'm definitely buying that. Who are these people? Who does that? Clearly, the reviews I'm reading from the 10s are people, they enjoyed the first game, and they sensibly and logically bought the next one. That's why I watched you. Thank you, Mo. Like, break down the logic of some of these 0 reviews. It's just as boring as the first game. What? It's like watching Knives Out. Being like, it's boring. And then you watch the sequel. And you're like, yeah, it's as boring as the first one. Well, why'd you watch? If you didn't like the first one, why on earth would you watch the second? Now, I can understand actually in a movie like that, maybe you want to find out what happens. You know, but you still think it's boring. I get that. That's actually a little bit different. TJ Rage, to be fair, I didn't enjoy Mass Effect 1, and I bought Mass Effect 2. It happens. Right. Now, but hang on, though, TJ. Hang on. There's a difference between saying... I really didn't enjoy the first one, but this one looks like it's going to be better, more improved, or whatever. There's a pretty There's a pretty big chasm of difference between Mass Effect 1 and 2, and even 2 to 3, right? I think that's different, because you see the system improvements. You see that, the game deepening itself, right? Ferryman, Derek's talking to Ferryman. Average doesn't mean the middle of a number range. This is elementary school math. Yeah, I had to hop off that train because I just start feeling like I'm being condescending. I can't do the thing where people they're so just horribly wrong. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't. 5 is average. Like that was an hour ago, and I left that debate because it was hurting my brain. It was hurting my brain. On a score of 1 to 10, the average is 5. What's wrong with you? See what I'm saying? It just isn't worth it. It just isn't worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Zubair says, I'm impressed. You're giving the lawyer and me as many strokes as the physicist did me. That's a rare achievement. Yeah, he's just speaking in just so much inaccuracy and things that aren't true. That isn't what average means. Are you a troll? I'm telling you, yeah, you're dealing with it. I don't know. It's just redefining terms to his liking. We've been here before. I like Ferryman, but buddy, you are like you're provably and demonstrably false. Like what you're saying is not true in any realm. What score would I give it? I would give it... It's somewhere between... For me, it's somewhere between an 8.5 and a 9. That's why I think the 88 is fair on Metacritic. I can't give it a solid 9. If they fix the quality of life stuff, then it's a solid 9. It's a rock solid 9. It's like an 8.5 for me right now because of the issues. The issues with the mounts, the traversal, and then the graphical stuff. It's like, yeah, you guys shouldn't have. This stuff should have been fixed. This stuff should be a lot more polished than it is. So the people that say like I'm super biased and I'm a Sony fanboy and I'm being paid to say these things. I'm literally sitting here pointing out the problems and giving it, I think, a fair score, an 8.5. Like, if they fix these issues, then I would give it a 9. If they fix the bugs and if Traversal gets some smoothing. Because I'm telling you, I had some issues with Traversal that were really irritating. It ruined a puzzle for me. I was like, I just kept falling in the water. I was like, because Traversal's just kind of clunky. It doesn't feel good and fluid, you know? It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel fluid. And I would like to see those things addressed in a patch, you know, as soon as they can. You know what I mean? That's a fair review from what I watched you play. Yeah, listen, you guys have to understand something. Like, I didn't suddenly become a different person just because I'm ripping review bombs. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of a sudden, Loney's this... Loney? Loney. That's my new name, dude. I'm such a Sony fanboy. I'm from this day forward, I would like to be called Loney. Oh, frick. It'll lean into it. Like, what was I saying? Like, oh no, Lono is a Sony fanboy now, and he's praising, you know, it would be with a Y, you dummies, like Sony. How dumb are you people? Why are you putting an I? That looks like Lonnie. It's Sony. It's spelled with a Y. Sony, Loney. What on earth? Why would you put an I? What is wrong with you people? Clearly, it's a joke that Lono and Sony combine to form Loney, and you put an I? What the heck what is happening? Jiminy frickin' spit. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable, dude. Oh, it's truly wonderful. Oh, anyway. Yeah, Loney the Pony. There it is. In any case. Just because I'm shredding review bombs doesn't mean I'm suddenly a Sony fanboy. Like, I love my PlayStation 5 and I love my Sony games, but I also really like Microsoft. I think Microsoft brings good things to the table. I think these reviews, it's very, very clear who has played the game and who hasn't, right? Like, here's a 9. I like it more than Zero Dawn. Great sound and 3D audio headset, and the music is always calming to explore. The voice actors are amazing and really put me into the game. I'm a bit biased because I love these games from Guerrilla and I hope they make more. That's a great review. It's a fair review. They highlighted the things that impressed them while being like, listen, I'm a huge fan, right? Lono's next campaign is vote for Loney. Loney for Sony. That's right. Stand on the altar of Loney now. Your first response was to attack Halo? Ferryman, you might want to try to keep up. I didn't bring up Halo. People in chat were bringing up Halo. There was a guy literally in a review that brought up Halo. That's why Halo came up, because the people that were review bombing and the people in chat brought up Halo. Somebody in chat literally brought up Halo, and that's why I started wailing on it. I was like, Halo? Are you freaking serious? People started saying that I was harder on Halo, or that Halo got hit with, review bombs. Halo, LOL. That's right. Hey, LOL. Yeah. I didn't just suddenly start wailing on Halo because I'm anti-Microsoft. What do you mean anyway? I've covered Halo on this channel as much as numerous other games. I've covered Halo quite a bit on this channel. We did a dedicated month where every Friday night we did Halo Infinite custom games and me and Hilly shoutcasted. Do you see? You can't touch me with that criticism. You can't. It just glides right off me. You literally cannot claim that I'm like anti-Halo or anti-Microsoft. You are freaking blind if you think that. I have covered Halo so much over here. There's tons of Halo gameplay on this channel. I praised the campaign. I told people they should check out the campaign. What do you mean by calling Xbox games media darlings? There were a couple of games that were given media darling treatment is what I meant, Viceroy. This has been talked about. Both Forza Horizon 5 and Microsoft Flight Sim were given media darling treatment on Metacritic, like way slant. There's even official critics on Metacritic that have been exposed for basically always giving 9s and 10s to Microsoft games, and they always give like 6, 7s, and 8s to Sony games. A clear bent. Now, yeah, Flight Sim's amazing, but they were given like the most gracious treatment ever. There were elements of Flight Sim that deserved to be criticized. It's a technical marvel, but it ain't perfect. And Halo's treatment, by Metacritic and the reviewers and stuff? Come on. Lono is very biased or a Sony shill. He's not biased or a Sony shill. He's just pro-corporation. Yeah, I need to be pro-corporation. Yeah, Stiviver, that group. It's impressive they got Flight Sim to run on console. Yeah, Flight Sim's super impressive. Halo Infinite story 10 out of 10, gameplay 10 out of 10, graphics 10 out of 10, lore 11 out of 10. How many Halo tattoos do you have? False fake news about that, especially if you're talking about Stiviver. Yeah, Stiviver clearly has a bent. You can't prove me they don't. You can't prove to me they don't. It's measurable. You can see it. They literally undercut games that everybody else gives very good scores to, and yet they somehow find a way to give it like a 7 or a 6. And then everybody else, they are always outside the bell curve or under the bell curve, depending on if it's a Sony or a Microsoft. Come on. That's a clear and measurable bias. Are we almost at 300 likes yet? Hey, can we get 20 more likes on this video? Give me those 300 likes. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, you need to hit subscribe if you want to talk in the chat. Let's see how many new subscribers we've got. Let's see. There we go. Keep it going. We might hit 12,000 subs today. Don't forget there are direct ways to support the channel as well. You can type !join in the chat or shirt, coffee, displate, glasses. You can just put !glasses or whatever. Those are all of our sponsors. Order some coffee and make sure you can get a discount. The Frickmas blend, the holiday blend's gone after this month. Get Fricked in February. The code GETFRICKED will give you 20% off the holiday blend. So snag you some. Daikatana, Broken Promises, Broken Game. 10 out of 10. Mario 64, world changing, revolutionary. 0 out of 10. That's right. I put about 30 hours into Horizon Forbidden West this weekend. Traversal's good on console. Can you unequip quick select items on PC? I can't on console and it really bugs me. Oh, can you unequip them? The quick items down in the corner? Only way you could unequip them is to get rid of them. Just go sell them to a vendor. You mean like the traps and stuff? I think that's what you mean. Yes, Vicky is a troll. They're only being allowed to stay here because they add to the hilarity and the entertainment. Like, make no mistake, you're being allowed to stay here. Ordinarily, you'd be banned by now. The Stiviver thing isn't a thing, Lono. It's not provable. It was cherry picked. How is it? What do you mean by cherry picked, Mo? How is it cherry picked when they showed like 5 Sony titles and 5 Microsoft titles? That's not cherry picked. That's literally, it was like 10 reviews to show a clear bent. Come on, bro. From what I heard, they were doing it both ways. Has anyone considered Stiviver was doing it to get attention or notoriety? What's like a group? Hold down the D-pad to customize it. Oh, you can edit your own D-pad menu. Oh, there you go. They're telling you right now. No, Ethan. They're telling you right now how to do it. You hold down on the D-pad, and you can edit what's there. They gave multiple PlayStation games high scores. Yeah, but that's like saying... I was going to give a really nasty example. I don't know. I don't know. Like if I sat here and constantly gave Spider-Man and Miles and God of War Game of the Year, right? Because those games would have made them look like fools to say otherwise. Do you see what I'm saying? Because they're nice to a couple of Sony games that are undeniable, doesn't mean the trend isn't there. You know what a trend is, right? Like, there's a trend, and you found a couple of things that don't fit in the trend. It doesn't disprove the trend. It doesn't disprove the trend. If you are late, let's say you work 5 days a week, 4 weeks in a month, so that's 20 days, okay? Let's say you're late 15 times. Are you going to tell your boss that it's okay because you were on time 5 times? They would say, there's a trend. There's a trend of you being late. You're late more often than you're on time. The Survivor reviews I looked at, there's a trend where they consistently give Sony games lower scores than literally everybody else. And they gave Microsoft scores higher than everybody else. That's a trend. You're going to run to a couple of games to be like, oh, well, they were nice to these games. That doesn't disprove the trend. Yeah, the Miles and God of War reviews were outliers. Right, they don't fit within the trend. When you find a data set and you say, like with the being late thing, this employee, just pure data set, doesn't matter if he's a good employee or not. The data set would say, here's the curve, right? Here's how often he's late all the time. And then you'd have 5 outliers. Well, on this day, this day, this day, and this date, he was on time. Those would be outliers. He's not consistently on time. Didn't they review bomb Tsushima too? Ghost of Tsushima got hit. I remember that. Ghost of Tsushima got hit twice. Ghost of Tsushima got hit at launch, and then Ghost of Tsushima got hit when they did the $10 thing for the director's cut. You know. And so all the Xbox guys go there and pretend to be angry Sony fans. I got news for you. Sony fans and people that love Tsushima, they were not going to Metacritic to cry about $10. They weren't. I promise you they weren't. They weren't, dude. Death Stranding got hit as well. They got hit as well. Yep. What's Survivor? Survivor is like a group of people that review for Metacritic. It's like a group. They gave Spider-Man Miles 95, Last of Us 10, Uncharted a 95, Spider-Man 95, Uncharted Lost Legacy 85, Persona 5 90, Dreams 90. You know what's funny about most of those scores, Viceroy? With the exception of Miles, those are all really, really old games in comparison to what we were looking at right now. The trend emerged in the last year or so of games that they were reviewing. That's when the trend emerged. Look at how many of those are not current. Last of Us, you know how old that game is? Uncharted 4, Lost Legacy, Persona 5, Dreams. Those are old games, man. Like what they launched 3, 4, 5 years ago, maybe more for some of those. The trend is a new trend. It was like, holy crap, in the last 2 years, you almost never give a Sony game a nice score. And you consistently give Microsoft games scores that are higher than everybody else's score. Need to look at games that aren't a slam dunk. Dreams is 2020. Oh, okay, so Dreams is more current. Sorry. So Miles is current, Spider-Man's current, and Dreams is current. The rest of those are not current games. Thought you were saying they were Xbox biased. Should I bring up the low scores they gave Xbox games? Guarantee you most of those low scores predate 3 years. Have they given low scores in the last 2 years to Microsoft games? I hate to break it to you. There aren't very many. That's the point. That's the point, is that in the last 2 years, every game that's come out from Microsoft, they've scored higher than the trend of the other reviewers. And in the last 2 years, with the exception of like Miles and Dreams, they've given everything else that's come out from Sony lower scores than everybody else. That's the point, is that right now, in the last 2 years, people are, I think this is the trend. I think this is what's happening. People are going after Sony games because Microsoft isn't really cranking out the first-party titles. They're not. Every time this discussion comes up, everybody forgets that reality. That's what's driving the anger and the angst and these review bombs. It's angry Microsoft fans that are sitting on an incredibly low list of first-party titles that have come out. And the first-party titles mysteriously get media darling treatment from people, and then everything else from Sony is getting like hit with review bombs. I don't think Starfield will get review bomb. I believe it will fail on its own. I don't have anything to say about Starfield yet. We don't know enough. We've not seen enough. There's just no way to know. If you're new and you're just tuning in, we want you to take the poll at the top of the chat. Horizon Forbidden West reviews. What should be done about the review bombs? 61% say delete them. 39% say leave them. Series X got a recent exclusive, Crossfire. Oh, yeah. Horizon Forbidden West is new. Why would you want to bomb it and the graphics are awesome? It's a tribalism thing, man. There's barely been any Xbox exclusives since 2013. There's not much to compare to in terms of review scores. Right. I think that's at the core of the argument. That's at the core of the point that I was making. And that's why people took notice of Survivor. It was like, what are you guys doing? It's like if Microsoft can do anything and you're going to score it higher than everybody else. Hey, somebody ordered some coffee. Too dark and a Frickmas for Archon Gaming. Wife and I loved the coffee last time. Time for a refill. Thank you for the drawing. Awesome personal touch. Hey, thank you. Which trees have you been investing in? Healing, range, and melee. Those are the three. Sony fanboys are just as pathetic. I don't know what world we're living in, but both sides have bad actors. Well, yeah, sure, kill you, but listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the Microsoft fanboys are worse. I do. I think they're worse. I've dealt with Sony fanboys. I have. I've argued with them. Okay? They don't hold a candle to the Microsoft fanboys, dude. They don't hold a candle. They just don't. They're I don't know, man. The Xbox fanboys, man, they're cut different, bro. They're making them different. I'm telling you, it ain't quite the same. They are because they're mad. They have no games. Yeah, the Sony fanboys are too busy playing all the games on the PS5. They're too busy playing. They're happy, right? Sony fanboys will probably get worse when they're unhappy. Do you know what I mean? I honestly think that's what it is. I think that the Sony fanboys will get worse when they get unhappy about something. I think they're generally satisfied with the games and the trajectory of the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation platform. You know, it's little brother syndrome. I see it with U of L Cardinals and UK Wildcats. It's the same thing. Yeah, UK fans are awful. Even people that are UK fans will admit to me that they're worse. They are awful. They're way more annoying than U of L fans. You sound like a Sony fanboy, though. I genuinely think that the reason the Xbox fanboys are worse right now is I think they're more disgruntled. I think they're more irritated and dissatisfied. You know what I mean? I don't know. Listen, I have a larger Xbox audience. I primarily, that's not what I was saying. In my experience, Eugene, living in Louisville, the UK fans are way worse. I don't know. You're saying U of L fans feel like the little brother and they're worse? I don't know. UK fans are the best. You do lean a little Sony in your digs because there's a strong Xbox presence in chat. I'm a Microsoft fanboy, and it's not about a lack of surplus of games. It's about them locking good games behind a console I deem inferior in every way, bit those couple of titles and don't want. You're going to have to outline what you mean distorted. U of L Cardinal fans have little brother syndrome when it comes to basketball. Always second place. Oh, I see what you're saying. I've seen Sony guys make up an article about death threats. Hang on, what are you trying to say, distorted? To use a PlayStation but still want to play those games? Can you do a vote of who plays on what machine? I'm sure more Sony is here. Well, we've probably really changed our fan base, but I think there's more Microsoft fans in chat than there are Sony. There's more Xbox players in chat. Didn't a PlayStation fanboy just recently create a fake article saying Phil Spencer was giving death threats to the point where a journalist who they said wrote the article had to come out and deny it? D, all of them, yeah. Xbox fans are essentially being told, just wait, brighter days ahead. Yeah, I'm not saying... I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. There are bad actors on both sides. Fanboys and people that talk... PC fanboys too, right? PC Master Race. I think tribalism and fanboyism on all sides is annoying and awful, okay? What I was saying is... in my experience, generally, all of the times I've covered games, when I primarily had an Xbox audience most of us, that's where we play Destiny together. My experience with Xbox fanboys and Sony fanboys, and even PC, is that Xbox fanboys I think they're a little worse. I don't know what it is. There's something... And this is somebody who primarily played on an Xbox. This is somebody who was a way late adopter to the Sony platform. I was a way late adopter. And I love my Series X. And I think Microsoft is a sleeping giant. I think their strategy is going to pay off big time in the next 5 years. But I'm telling you, the Xbox fanboys, in my experience, are worse. I like... the Xbox console, the platform, and the community more than the PlayStation, so that's where I want to play. I want to play Sony's good titles, but I don't want to have to buy a PlayStation to do so. Got it. Xbox may just skew younger. Maybe. Xbox are waiting for a retaliation from the Microsoft to Sony, despite Sony not actually doing anything to Microsoft. They thought they had it with the Activision Blizzard and Call of Duty until that announcement. Realistically, it would be ideal to get rid of review bombs, but it wouldn't actual bad reviews get mixed up in the review. Well, that's the problem, right? And that's why people said you should have to be a verified purchase. Like if I go, let's go to Amazon, because you can see verified purchases there, can you not? Horizon Forbidden West, PS5. Yeah, I mean, nobody's leaving reviews there. 23 reviews for the PS5 version. 23. Like, no one's going to Amazon and buying. 11 reviews on the PS4. The PS5 version was a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and the PS4 version's a 4 out of 5 stars. Thankfully, I'm glad I'm not interested in any Xbox titles. Then I'd try to have to manage my time between all 3 platforms. What a headache that would be. Right. The waiting is over. Xbox Studios is working on a big project. It'll be revealed later this year and coming years. That has to be my favorite sentence ever, ushered by an Xbox fan. I just let's read this really, really slowly. I just want you to listen. I just want you to listen to the pronouncement and then the subsequent denial of said pronouncement. The waiting is over. Xbox Studios is working on a big project. It'll be revealed later this year and coming years. Oh, I forgot to change the playlist. No! Oh, man. I forgot to change the playlist. I was only going to run it for the first 30 minutes. Ran it for 2 hours. I'm going to get so many emails. The wait is over. That is truly one of the best sentences ever. Like the flat earthers being all over the globe. Oh, that's as good as that one. That's as good as that one. Oh, man. That would make for such a great trailer. The wait is over. And you're like, yes. And they're like, we are working on a game. Yes, we will not tell you the name of said game. Okay? We will have announcements sometime later this year. Right? And other many more years to come as well. Great. I thought the wait was over. You still having trouble with whitelisting? Yeah, they told me they double checked it. They're like, your channel's officially whitelisted. We're like, we don't know what's going on. Now, it's been a while since they sent that email, so I don't know. Hopefully we don't get slammed today. That's a Sony fanboy trolling? No, it's not. No, they have been here all morning praising Xbox and bashing Sony. No. No. Why are you talking like a Sith? In a world where the wait is over, but not over, one man, one console, and one game will maybe make an announcement sometime soon. I'm not gonna lie, I think the Xbox fans are more toxic because they're always mad. White or blacklisting is no longer okay. Got to call it allow listing. No, I don't agree. I'm fine with saying white and blacklisting. That's totally fine. Context is king, baby. I live according to context, and that's what defines the words and phrases that I use. Not linguistic homicide and false virtue. Got my coffee. Loved your kids. Little note. And the Frickmas blends on point. Oh, thank you, Tattoos. Appreciate that. I don't really bash Sony. I mainly just say Xbox is better. I only throw a jab every now and then. Oh, trust me, there was an S there. You didn't put one. Somebody said it to me a while ago. They're like, yeah, don't say whitelist anymore. I'm like, what the frick? What are you going to do? In Star Wars, are you not going to be allowed to say the light side and the dark side anymore? What the frick? Like... Horrible game. Thumbs up. Recommended. Horrible game. Sony fanboys have been so ignorant just in this chat, says Kill You. The only Xbox fanboy is the troll who probably plays on a Sony platform. Just read what these dudes are saying. Kill You, with respect, there have been plenty of Xbox fanboys in the chat this morning. Come on. Have you ever been here when me and Mo have debated? Mo will tell you he's an Xbox fanboy. He will tell you he's pretty biased in his positions. He's not shy about it. I actually did have to remove white and blacklisting from some of my docs because the business wanted it changed. Really? So interesting. Peepo says nope. Whitelist is allowed list. Blacklist is denied list. Same applies to master server, slave server, and Black Hat. Yeah, it's false virtue, man. It's false virtue. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not. The etymological study of those words, those phrases, those realities, it's so intellectually bankrupt to act like those things are offensive. It's just more stupid, uninformed linguistic homicide that makes people feel like they're working to better the world or something, and you're not. You're not. We don't say blacklist and whitelist anymore. Guys, we did it. we did it. Racism's over. It's done. We found the last bastion of it. It was with the phrases whitelist and blacklist. We did it. It took us a long time. It really did. because it's entrenched, systemic, culturally derived, sociologically influenced, and economic realities depending on the city that you might live in, certain times, certain places, upbringing, education, all those things attribute to it. But you know what? We found the last piece of it. We did it. We did. This is it. We did it. I mean, it might take centuries to fix through education, empathetic discussion, raising people's consciousness, exposing people to different cultures and viewpoints and realities, but we don't say whitelist and blacklist anymore. It's really big strides. Really big strides today, guys. Really big strides. You know what I'm saying, brother? Oh, I shouldn't. I'm sorry. We're going to have a meeting in HR. Oh, man. That cliche corporate guy. He's like, that's right. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? No? Oh, that's another HR meeting. Sorry. Defeating racism by removing words is pay to win. Pack it up. We did it. Remember when we cured blindness by not saying blind study anymore? Oh, golly. Oh, golly. That's good. Oh, that's so good. Frickin' superficial nonsense. It's so superficial, dude. Golly. Have we changed what people think? No. Behavior? No. Trends? No. Have we modified educational and economic systems that perpetuate these realities? No. But we changed our Twitter icon in February. Ooh. It's funny that blacklist means no and whitelist means go. Why can't it go the other way around, just saying? Because it's probably derived from, honestly, like legends and myths and old stories where the darkness was scary, right? If you think about the psychological influences to why people would have wrote books and made darkness evil and scary, it had nothing to do with skin color. It had to do with the reality of the world they lived in. So dark being scary and darkness being associated with evil and bad things is a psychological thing. I am assuming that's got to be, if anybody actually studied any of the etymology on this, where it started, it has to be in myths and legends and stories, not in race. There's no frickin' way. There's no frickin' way. So when did it start? We just started doing that what? When early America was settled? No. That idea and that terminology's been around since what? The Bible? What in the world? It's cultural too. In Pakistan you wear white while in mourning, and in the US you wear black. Right. I always imagine it came from making out a list with a black marker. Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to study the terminology. Blackballed, blacklisted. Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be a linguistic thing. I don't think it's ever been based on skin color. That doesn't... Popping my fingers. Yeah. The black sheep, the black swan, all of those stories. Oh my gosh. All right. You got to hang out here long enough. White and light have always been associated with good, and black and dark have always been associated with bad. Pretty sure it didn't stem from race. Ideals prior to modern day. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Prior to modern day, that word. Yeah. Black Friday is about moving from the red to the black or making money. Right, yeah, there you have red, black, and green. That has nothing to do with that either. Yeah, because in that case, black is breaking even, black is neutral. Yeah. That's what I mean. When you attack something superficially, you don't attack it at its core, so you can make it look really, really nice, but nothing's actually changed. You know what I'm saying? You're going to go out back and like staple a bunch of apples to your tree. You don't have an apple tree. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you make all these superficial changes and exterior changes that are visible and people clap for them, but you haven't actually changed anything. Green is not a thing. It's red or black. Green is not a thing? I thought it was, we're in the red, we're in the black, we're in the green. I thought those were phrases that you would use. Red being that we're in the red, we're in debt, we borrowed a bunch of money. We're in the black, we've broken even. We're in the green, we're profitable. That's what I always thought it was. That could be true, Robert. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that doesn't... yeah. It originally appeared in 1639 tragedy called The Unnatural Combat, where it referred to a list of regicides. Huh. The first published reference to blacklisting of an employee dates from 1774. It became a significant employment issue in American mining towns and company towns where blacklisting could mean a complete loss of livelihood for workers who went on strike. The 1901 report of the Industrial Commission stated, quote, "There was no doubt in the minds of working men the existence of the blacklisting system, though it was practically impossible to obtain evidence of it. In cited reports that of 1895, a former conductor of the Atlantic and Pacific Railroad committed blank, he self-deleted, had been out of work since the strike. Wherever he went, the blacklist was ahead of him." Huh. Yeah. After the restoration of the English monarchy brought Charles II out of England, of England to the throne, a list of regicides named those to be punished for the execution of his father. He says in the papers, "If any innocent soul be found in this blacklist, let him not be offended at me, but consider whether some mistaken principle or interest may not have misled him to vote." Yeah. Interesting. The stuff we discuss here. Yeah. It's fun. I forgot to schedule the next stream. Shoot. I got 9 minutes, though. We should be good. No shipping options found for Spain. We're going to be playing more Horizon Forbidden West today. I did play a bunch off stream only because there was no way I was going to be able to explore and do side missions on stream. We're going to try and beat the game this week. I'll only be doing the main quest with a little side questing, but primarily I'll be doing only the main quest when I'm playing on stream. So today will be part 4. I'm meeting up with Varl and this other chick in this town that they told me to meet them in. So it'll be there. Okay. Yeah, I guess we'll have to do that. Okay. We had a really, really strong turnout today, too. And we got a good amount of new subscribers. But I think most of the people that tuned in today, most of you, I think, were already subbed. That's really cool to have such a strong turnout. Varl and Zoe. Thank you, Siege Master. Varl and Zoe. I knew she had like a short name. I wanted to say it was Zool, and I knew that wasn't right. Zoe. Okay. Go here. Customization. Redirect. There we go. Oh, I didn't make a thumbnail for part 5. We're supposed to be doing... Shoot. Reforge Shilling featuring Lono. Have you fought an elephant yet? No, Eugene. I'm actually ahead of you. I'll watch. Yeah, it'll probably be pretty easy to stay ahead of me because I'm getting really bogged down. There's 7 people listening in Discord today. Holy moly, that's more than usual. Are you a gatekeeper or keymaster? I don't know. All the Utaru have short names. Okay, cool. I'm ahead. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just getting to that new little town. Man, a lot of new subs today. I hadn't checked it in a while. Holy moly. Thank you, guys. We are screaming to 12,000 subs on this channel. I feel like we just hit 10. Horizon Forbidden West is an improvement to Zero Dawn in every way. Still waiting to see where the story goes, but so far so good. How's the game overall? Very good, Dormammu. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. I'm just kidding. I had to do it at least once. I had to do it at least once. People love watching us yell at each other lovingly. Yeah, if you're new and you've never been here before, I thought that was a really good disagreement. We obviously had some people that were trying to like stir the pot and be like problematic, and we dealt with them pretty well. If you're enjoying the content, hit subscribe, hit the like button, maybe get us to our next like milestone of 400 likes. If you haven't supported one of the sponsors or become a paying member, those are direct ways to support the channel. So thank you to everybody that have been doing that. Didn't we hit a month ago? Yeah, we hit 10 in January. Yeah. We hit 10 in January, and we are about 20 subs away from hitting 12,000. So that's pretty freaking awesome. And thank you guys so much. And memberships holding. We really want membership to kind of like slowly trend up toward 500 members because it's holding, but membership on the other bigger channel is like just like a slow trickle down. And we actually think you're going to be really pleased with what we're going to do over there. I don't know when we're going to do that State of the Union or whatever over there. I know you guys are like, my gosh, how many times are you going to mess with that channel? We are very pleased with the results we got, and it really informed us on what we can do, and we're going to talk to you guys about that at some point this week, okay? I think you're going to be very pleased with what we do, as I am going to be very pleased with what we do. But yeah. Your argument is for something that isn't related. Halo single-player campaign is complete and has no micros. If the multiplayer didn't exist, that would make the campaign worse? No, it wouldn't. Oh, you guys are debating Halo. Until it's right. Yeah. State of the Union. Yeah, like a State of the Union, State of the Channel address. You know what I mean? 2K subs in 1.5 months. Awesome. Yeah. Kill You says, I've been agreeing and disagreeing with Lono for like 7 years and I'm still here. Always respect your opinion, Lono. No hard feelings ever. Oh, I love you, Kill You. You supported me on YouTube before I was even a streamer, and I believe that was 8 years ago. I think my first ever upload over there was 8 years ago, I think. Obviously all that stuff's been unlisted, but yeah. Sometimes randomly we do a deep dive in etymology. Yeah, just a bit. Yeah. Ooh. That was a pretty good little neck pop. I gotta tell you, that food poisoning that I got the other day, it messed with me all weekend. Like I've not felt fully like back to normal until literally today. Like anytime I would eat, I would have like, it was like my body didn't want me to eat. It was like painful. You know what I mean? It was like painful just to eat. It was like my body was like, no, please don't eat. Please don't eat. You should rewrite your history and pretend you started streaming last year. I think I found this channel right when I moved into my first house. Man, YouTube's having an issue on the back end. Can't get anything to refresh right now. There we go. Good thing we scheduled that stream when we did. It's acting squirrely. Good thing it hit you on Thursday and not Horizon Forbidden West launch day. Well, it hit me end of day Wednesday. Yeah, we have those here, and it was negative. Yeah, we were concerned about that. Yeah, we were concerned about that, and so I took one. Survivor gave Mass Effect Andromeda a 9.5 out of 10. Read some of the review. It's funny AF. Yo, what's good, JB? Hope the stream's good in this crazy world of ours. Man, that was really generous, JB. My kids couldn't believe it. They were super, super stoked. I thought they were going to be bummed. One of the card stacks was literally duplicates. So it was like Pikachu, Pikachu. You know, Charmander, Charmander. Every card, the next one underneath was a dupe. And I thought, oh no, my son's going to be so disappointed. And he was thrilled. Like, I was going to like make them swap and trade. He didn't care at all. He loved it. He was really excited. So they put all the cards in their books and brought him to church with them and were like showing them their friends. I was like, my goodness. They were thrilled, man. It was very, very kind. That's my secret, Cap. I always have GI issues. I was going to suggest editing. It was one of my symptoms. Glad it came back. Yeah, it's unpleasant. It's unpleasant for sure, but we wanted to make sure we checked that. Yeah. This game has no multiplayer. 0 out of 10. That's the greatest. That's the greatest, dude. God of War Ragnarok's gonna totally fail. Why? No multiplayer. Just utter garbage. Someone broke into my car this morning and then broke into my neighbor's house and went to sleep on their couch. So did the cops get him? Did they catch him? Did they catch him? Hey, buddy, wake up. Hey, buddy, what are you doing? It's pretty cool wall art you have. Where'd you get it? Those are disc plates, actually. Like metal posters that hang on the wall with magnets. And we are partnered with them. And you can use my disc plate command in chat. You can use the disc plate link to get a really, really nice discount. They ran and tried to jump in someone's truck and drive off. Wow. I'll make them go bigger next time. Yeah. You tell them to take care of it. Tell them to buy my house for me, JB. I'm sure they could slip me a cool crisp mill. Or half a mil. Just a crisp half a mil. You know what I mean? Beat them. Be like, listen, he needs a small loan of half a mil and he'll be all right. He'll be all right. I was waiting for somebody to do that, Hilly. I was waiting for somebody to do that. You got to get the right L, though. That's not the right L. Loney. That's right. You got to call me by my new name. The artist formerly known as Lono is now Loney. I'm so much of a Sony fanboy. This game just takes too long to win. 4 out of 10. Hey, I gotta tell you, I was really, really pleased with Friday night's turnout of me just playing through Horizon Forbidden West. I was really grateful to you guys. It worked out. Like, Hilly couldn't stream, so we just decided to do that. I need to talk to you about what we're going to be doing. Friday nights is going to be a part of some of the announcements. Again, I think you guys are really going to like it. I think Hilly's going to like it. I'm going to like it, that for sure, with what we're going to start doing with Friday nights. I think it's going to be super dope. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So just keep eyes open about those things. Keep eyes and ears open about forthcoming announcements about what we'll be doing with the split screen channel. Makes sense that the Bungie apologist is also a Sony fanboy. Late to the party, been playing Horizon Forbidden West all this morning. I'll admit the performance mode is kind of sus right now. I don't have any issues with performance mode, Sean. I have had performance problems with the game, for sure. The game has some quality of life. It needs some patching, man. It does. We should clip everything Lono reads out, not his responses, and then call it Loney's views. Yeah. Just clip me out of context. Let me see here. I want to check on something. Good morning, Lono. I knew Horizon Forbidden West was going to be great, and what do you know? It is. Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. Very excited. Really excited for really excited for the release of Elden Ring this week. That's going to be good. I'm very pumped for that. That's going to be really, really fun for us, I think. So we'll be diving into that on Friday, and what we want to do this week is just play so much of Horizon, so much of Horizon that we're able to, I hope, beat it. I hope the support is there this afternoon and for the rest of the week for the gameplay. I know it's not a talk show. I know almost all of December and January we were giving you guys double talk show, and a lot of you subbed for that. A lot of you come back for that. A lot of you enjoy that. But we're really hopeful this could be like maybe one of the first games that we actually play through all the way. My wife's been really chill. She's like, if you need to play it in the evenings, that's fine. So I'm basically doing all of the side quests and map exploration and all that offshoot stuff. I'm doing all of that off stream so we can primarily just focus on the game, the main quest. Shimmering's been improved. They tweeted to do 2 restarts to fix the issue. It got better for me. Said on the subreddit that the official thread to report issues. They'll patch more. Lono and Sony sitting in a tree. We all know where that goes. I just hope I get invited to the wedding. Why no Lono Sip here? Lono Sip is the one that you guys want to unlock next. We just have to get the 500 members to do it. So we need like 50 more members. The 2 restarts didn't work for me, says Doom. Yeah, I mean, I've had like a weird flash before cutscenes and QuickTime events. I've had weird like pop-in issues with stuff popping in the background or in the actual, the open world, I should say. I don't know. That's why you get Lono Sip but not me. What? Feels good to be excited for a game release after having to be cautious about a lot of titles coming out in the last 3 years. I'm about 6 hours in and enjoying the game so far. Don't let the review bombs discourage you from having fun or enjoying the game. I get the cutscene fire pit save flickering too. Aren't cutscenes for getting up and getting a drink? No, the cutscenes in this are great. 13 months at a tier 4 from Coyote. Becoming a member. Who would do that? Yeah, we might actually have a way to do game requests again very soon. So we'll have some forthcoming announcements about that. I know that's been something that some of you guys are paying for and not able to cash in on because we really don't have a place for it. We should have a place for that very soon. So I'm 30 hours in. I have at least 70 more to go, says Eugene. Yeah, it's a massive game. It's a massive game. I think that was a Doc joke. Why you X but not me? I don't know. Kill you at 14 months. I swear I'm not addicted to the joystick. Thank you very much, sir. Welcome back. It's probably the most buggy PS4, PS5 exclusive other than Days Gone. Well, Days Gone got a lot of them fixed. So, oh, you were talking about Elden Ring. Right. Well, yeah, me too. I'm really excited about Elden Ring. Very much. All I'm saying is if you boil the game down to it, it's a Far Cry reskin without stealth. Plays nothing like a Far Cry game. Because their outpost makes it a Far Cry reskin. Jeff is arguing that this game is a Far Cry reskin. Please step in the ring with me, sir. Let us spar for a while. You're talking to me now. Jeff, I want you to argue and make your point. Why do you think this game is a Far Cry reskin? I'm tagging in for Raymond here. Raymond, you can tag out. You can take a breather. I'm a tier 2 on the OG channel. Should I keep it that way or swap? It doesn't matter, JW. It truly doesn't matter. If you're double dipping, I don't care how you do it. That's amazing, and thank you. First time I scrolled left to see how big the map was, I literally cursed out loud. The map is huge. It's very huge. Talking about Halo? He thinks Halo is a Far Cry reskin? What? No. Halo's campaign was really good and nothing like Far Cry. Yo, good morning, Gritter. Really loving Horizon Forbidden West? Yeah, same. Are there long necks
Aegon is towers in it. Did you mean to say again? Are the long necks again? Yeah, the long necks are in the game. I climbed one yesterday. Every game is a reskin, and you can win in all of them. Yeah. Yeah, I don't. That's a ludicrous assertion to claim that Halo Infinite's campaign was a Far Cry reskin. That's you can't. There's no. Lono, look up Doc. Why you but not me? I'm okay. How's Halo even a Far Cry reskin? Yeah, climbing the tall necks is fun. Yeah, because there's one. I won't spoil how I did it. Excuse me. I won't spoil how I did it. There was a tall neck next to a satellite dish. That's like the first one that you stumble upon. That's a really fun one. It's a fun one. Pop it in blurry visuals on performance mode, but other than that, I think it's a good game. Just needs some patchwork, and I think it needs some work. I wouldn't give it a 9 out of 10 right now. Sean, I said the same thing. I said I want to give it a 9 out of 10, but I can't. It's like a solid 8.5. It's like an 8 to an 8.5 because they got a lot of stuff they got to fix. It shouldn't run the way that it runs. Even climbing in Traversal can get kind of clunky and like buggy sometimes. Like, what the frick's my character doing? The tall neck in the desert's amazing. Yeah, that's the one next to the satellite dish. Yeah. That was a good one. So, all right, I'm going to quickly run upstairs. You might see some ads while I step away. Make sure you have done your daily. Hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'll be right back. We'll continue the discussion. Make sure you're supporting our sponsors, whether it's 80s Tees, Displate, or Gunner Optics with the glasses. We love to see those supported. Also, if you're ever going to order anything on Amazon, feel free to click my Amazon affiliate link before you do so. That supports me. I'll be right back. You might see some ads. That supports me as well. All right, don't go anywhere. Oh. Yeah, the Street Fighter commercial was pretty cool. I saw that. I see you guys talking about it. I was like, man, that looks pretty dope. That looks pretty dope. I mean, they don't show the game or anything, but it was a cool trailer. It was a cool trailer. My hair is it's always confusing to me because it's like okay, it looks fine. It looks different in the mirror, you know, because it's like flipped. So I'm always like, why does that side look like that? Because it's the opposite side of how I typically see it. I give it a solid 9.5 out of 10 based on the fact that the climbing and traversal feels off in a way. Yeah, I think there's more reasons to knock the score down, though, than that. I think the climbing and traversal feels off. I think traversing through the world on a mount, I think that also feels off. I think the pop-in and the graphical issues, I don't think they're excusable. I don't think that that should be a thing. Those need to be rectified, especially when I'm playing on a PS5. You know, I could see some graphical challenges and issues with, like, you know, texture, lighting, fidelity, consistency, or any of that on the PS4. You know, I wouldn't necessarily defend it or justify it because that didn't happen in the first game, but I could see them, you know, trying to do newer, better things and running into issues. But yeah, I definitely think that it shouldn't be happening on the PS5 at all. You think riding the charger has improved? Dude, my charger gets stuck on everything. I stopped using it. It was so bad. What graphic is used specifically? There's random and weird pop-in. Whenever I go into a cutscene or like a QuickTime event, sometimes, not all the time, there's like this random like black screen flash that happens. There'll be weird things that happen in the background of a cutscene, like, you know, I don't know. $10 from Coyote, a nice tip, says, Lono, sorry for detracting, but how do you pronounce, Worcestershire? Worcestershire sauce. Yeah, that's how I say it. Worcestershire. Worcestershire sauce. Yeah, Worcestershire sauce. Use that in my burgers. I haven't noticed any pop-in, but that little flash is weird. I had the biggest pop-in I had last night, Eugene. It was super weird. I was out in one of the desert areas, and this whole section of like bushes and some metal just suddenly appeared out of thin air. I was like, holy frick. Like, it was really bad. It was like a whole structure and stuff attached to it just appeared. It was in an area where there was some of the flying enemies. I was like, what is going on? Worcestershire. A whole Slitherfang popped up in front of me and killed me. I get the black screen flashes when I fast travel a lot. Huh. Yeah. It's a bummer. It's a bummer that stuff's happening. It's it hurts. I think it hurts the game. It hurts it. I haven't had a single bug. Don't get the bombing. Well, the review bombing is being done. I think about 70% of the review bombs that I read, they were clearly people that didn't buy the game, that didn't play the game. They were just there to hate. Like, I felt like it was pretty obvious. To me. I can't prove it. But my gut told me most of the reviews I was reading, I was like, this is just a hater that didn't even buy the game. They've never touched it. They've never played it. You know, that was the general feeling that I got from the reviews that I read. Why are people review bombing it? It seems like a platform war thing. It seems like, you know, Xbox fans are doing it. I don't know why. I'm not trying to besmirch. I'm not trying to like besmirch Xbox fans. You know, I'm not trying to do that, but it It really, really feels like that's the case. So it's a super big bummer that people feel like they need to do it. We read through a bunch of them this morning, and they were just ludicrous. They all use the same terminology. They all use the same words: boring, annoying, and cringe. They were all saying the same thing. It was like, it even felt like some of them, it was like the same person with just like multiple accounts, like all saying the same thing: boring, annoying, and cringe. There was at least 3 that I read where they said it was as boring or as bad as the first game, which doesn't make any sense. Like, you bought a sequel to a game that clearly was going to be very similar to the first game. Like, who does that? Who buys the sequel to a game that they didn't enjoy? There's literally no reason to say Xbox fans are doing it. Sure. Okay. Mm-hmm. If you don't think that's the main culprit in this, then I'm sorry. I think you're being willfully ignorant. My biggest nitpick is the collector's edition doesn't come with a disc. That's a common thing these days that people don't like. It's like a super common thing these days. If you're just tuning in, we've been discussing pretty lengthy this morning my Horizon Forbidden West review. It's at the very beginning of this stream if you want to rewind and watch it. We also read through a lot of the review bombs that are hitting the game on Metacritic, and just sort of discussing, why would that be happening? What's the purpose of that? Why would people be doing that? Analyzing what they've said. And it did. It seemed like it was very much deriving from a platform. Fanboyism is what seemed to be driving most of it. I cannot imagine Sony fans going to Metacritic, making an account, and deciding to leave a bad score on a game that they didn't buy. Like, I would put dollars to donuts that like 80% of the zeros that we read, I would say 80% almost all of them were people that had not touched the game. You could tell they hadn't played it. The assertion has been made it's Xbox fans doing the review bombing, now defend it with evidence. I said not moments ago, I said it's my gut feeling that 75 to 80% of the reviews are people who haven't bought it and are probably Xbox fans. And I said, I can't prove it. It's just my gut instinct. As I read them, it didn't sound like an angry Sony fan. It didn't sound like somebody who had actually played the game. It sounded like some angry forum fanboy. They're all using the same words. It's boring. It's annoying. It's cringe. It's a snowflake game. Aloy's not sexy enough. Stupid stuff like that. That's not somebody who played the game. Nobody bought the game or owns a Sony platform and bought the game and said any of that. There's just no way. Can't believe you're attributing characteristics to people who play particular consoles. I'm not doing that at all. No one in their right mind would score it as a 0. Yeah, I read some zeros, some ones, like a 3, How does it sound like Xbox fans? I've seen PlayStation fanboys who thought the first game was boring. Right, but again, if they thought the first game was boring, why would they go out of their way to come to Metacritic and say that this one's boring as well? Why would you do that? Why would you take the time to buy the sequel to a game that you didn't like to say the same thing again? That's nonsensical. That's literally that's illogical behavior. Like, think about it. When someone does something like this, there's a motivation behind it. In this day and age, you hang out on the internet. Sweater, thank you. You hang out on the internet. You're in my stream right now. You've been around the gaming internet populace, and you think the most likely cause of a groundswell of zeros all of a sudden hitting Horizon Forbidden West, you think the most likely theory is that it's actual people that bought the game and not Xbox fanboys. If you were a betting man and this was a game show, you would put money on the table and say, yeah, they're probably Xbox fanboys. Based on all correlating and corroborative evidence in the gaming populace online right now, where do you think these people are coming from? You think they bought the game, legitimately played it over the weekend and said, you know what? I'm going to Metacritic to give this a 0 and to call it boring, annoying, and cringe. The game had good marketing. Maybe they thought it would improve and be a better experience for them. Like, it's funny that people seem to be arguing pretty strongly against that it's a review bomb, just like the people doing the review bombs are saying we're not doing review bombs. Like, I came here to give it a 0 and call it trash, but I'm not review bombing the game. No one who has played the game gave it a 0? Yeah, I don't think so. I really, really don't think so. Same goes for all the zeros on Halo Infinite. People just out here to trash. I'm here to tell you, I think a lot of the zeros on Halo Infinite came from people that played it. I think they were the multiplayer people. I do. I'm not saying the 0 is justified. I'm saying I think that actually was derived from somebody who touched the product. Do you understand what I'm saying? It has begun. IGN. Ahead of Elden Ring's release, accessibility experts spoke with IGN about ways in which the game design can continue to open more experience to more players. If they talk about anything more than accessibility for controller, colorblind, and anything else I'm forgetting, if they talk about difficulty in that article, then they're doing exactly what I told you they were going to do. I told y'all they were going to smuggle in the difficulty discussion for From Software games, and they were going to smuggle it in under the guise of accessibility for handicapped persons. I told y'all they were going to do it. So if that's in that article, then I am once again proven to be correct in my prediction about the gaming community. I swear, it's like being a weatherman in San Diego sometimes. It's so easy to predict what the gaming community is going to do. It's a decent article, though. I'm kind of surprised. So Barrier, did they mention difficulty? Do they touch on it, like making it easier so that, like, a guy who's motor impaired and in a wheelchair can beat the game? Do they connect those dots at all? Let me remap the R3 constantly pulse, please, for a touchpad swipe or something else. I would have enjoyed that too, Lido. I'm pulsing all the time by accident. Yeah. One of the reviewers said that it's boring after finishing the game and that they would rather be playing Valhalla. What the actual? Yeah, I don't understand. Like, why would you keep playing if it's boring? Like, you're going to play through the whole game. I don't know. Chiason's example demonstrates, how levels... Why is it doing this? Levels of difficulty are, at their best, integrated early in development and considered within the wider development. Slapping an easier difficulty on an experience that tunes a few damage or health counts doesn't necessarily facilitate a more accessible experience, and is precisely not what is often being advocated for when debates around these tough games pop up. Quote, because accessibility touches so many components and what constitutes a challenge is highly debatable depending on who you're talking to, making a game accessible shouldn't make you automatically think, quote, it will make the game easier. In my opinion, that's a faulty assumption, she said. Good. They deserve applause if they are pushing against that notion. That is exactly what you should be doing in the accessibility discussion. Pushing against the notion that it means you're making a game easier. That's insulting to the people you're trying to help. They don't need it to be easier. They just want to play the dadgum game. So that's a good distinction. It might be a good article then. It might be a good article. Yeah, they do. They're going against it. Good. Then whoever did the interview and whoever said those things should be praised right now, because I'm telling you, they're getting in front of the same thing I was trying to get in front of. I'm telling you right now, people are going to try to smuggle in difficulty easy mode debate, and they're going to say it's for accessibility reasons. And you need to shut them down now, because it's bad argumentation and it's passively insulting to people who need accessibility options to play a game. That's the facts, Jack. It's about game design, not difficulty settings. Let's see. Let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. Publish that. View the channel. It's so weird how it's there and then it's not. Okay. Copy. Let's go here. Let's go here. Horizon West gameplay. Part 4. That might be our topic tomorrow, because we're going to need something spicy. We're going to need something spicy to survive tomorrow, chat. I'm going to need your help tomorrow. Let the hearer understand. Okay. There we go. And then let's go here. Diving back into hang. You like the phrase inclusive design? All right, let's end this poll. Did we hit a grand of votes again? Let's see. Ooh, 940, almost an entire grand of votes. All right, I'm going to show you where we're heading. Golly. What time does the show go live? We go live in the morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. At 9 a.m. Eastern. All right. Let's see. And then let's do this. Come here. And then we got to do this. Okay. I'm going to put myself down in the corner. I realized the other night that I was like up above for some reason. I was like, why did I do that? I'm going to put the link in chat where we're headed. It should redirect you. If it doesn't, you can use that link in chat to come hang. I understand not wanting spoilers, but we really appreciate strong support for gameplay. We're going to see if we can't have enough support for this to get this game all the way beat to completion. Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Part 4 of my Horizon Forbidden West gameplay. I have played off-stream, only doing side quests and map exploration. There was no way I was going to have enough time to beat this game in a substantive way, only streaming it roughly 5 hours a day. We're going to be breaking those into 2 parts most of the time, like a 2.5 and a 2.5. If you've been enjoying my playthrough, remember to hit subscribe and the bell button. I'm going to do a redirect and bring over people